Just moments ago, head coach Tommy Bowden addressing his Clemson Tiger team.
This head coach's background now from Florida State is tricks early. Reverse pass, reverse throw back to the quarterback. That's his MO, especially nationally televised games. He's been 13 years with the old man, so expect that. Man, 11 hats to the ball. 11 hats to the ball and punish him. Punish the skill. You get after that offensive line. You go up front, guys. Get after that tackle, man. Game tackle, pursue. 11 hats on the ball. Wrap up.
So here at Sanford Stadium, a jam-packed house, beginning to rain just a little bit here in Athens, Georgia. That has been the forecast all day. First time it has rained today, but it has not dampened any spirit, because coming from the tunnel to our right, here come the Dogs. Kickoff just moments away, Clemson and Georgia.
ESPN's College Football Saturday Night, presented by the United States Postal Service.
Welcome to ESPN's College Football Saturday Night, presented by the United States Postal Service. Tonight, the Clemson Tigers take on the 12th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs for their 61st meeting. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Mike Gottfried, and welcome to another outstanding Saturday night of college football. And Mike, to me in this ball game, in a nutshell, I see the power of Georgia's offense against a Clemson defense that was shaky at best at the end of last year.
Shaky is right. Georgia offensive football team has every weapon you'd want in an offense. They got Fred Gibson, Terrence Edwards, wide receivers, home run threats all the way. Tight end that's very good down the middle. Musa Smith, David Green. But the key is Musa Smith. They have to get a running game going to protect David Green, the quarterback.
Let's take a look at the head coaches for tonight's ball game. On the far sideline, Tommy Bowden, 4th season as the head man at Clemson University. His career, 40 wins and 18 losses. And on the near side of the field, Mark Richt, 2nd season as the head coach at Georgia, 8-4 last year, and of course was the offensive coordinator down at Florida State for Coach Bobby Bowden from 1994 through the year 2000. And in the series, well, particularly the series played here in Athens, you can see the numbers, and they are substantial. Only 2 wins by Clemson, 19-2. The Dogs lead here at home. And as you can tell by the sprinkles on the camera, we've got some rain coming in. It does not look terribly heavy at the time. This is an excellent fast track here at Sanford Stadium. 70 degrees. Humidity now, I would say 100%. 85 is what it shows, but with the rain coming down, wind is not really a factor. Georgia has won the toss, and they have deferred, so it will be the Tigers of Clemson who will receive. And Kuriak will kick it off for the Georgia Bulldogs. Derek Hamilton, one of the deep men, along with Jackie Robinson.
And number 82, Jackie Robinson.
And Clemson would like to get a big return to give Willie Simmons some good field position to start his quarterback starting career here tonight.
Mike, it is so important. We saw in last week's Arizona State-Nebraska game to open the second half. The young quarterback had to start at his own 5-yard line, and it turned into disaster for the football team. So your point is very well taken. And again today, we saw in games all over the country, first game jitters, and special teams got a lot of people beat today.
Really did, and especially in the Michigan game. Was a big mistake there on the penalty. 12 men on the field.
Kerouac, left hand high above his head. The whistle sounds, and we're underway. This is very returnable. It's short. This ball is caught at the 16-yard line by Hamilton. Tries to go to the left and retreats for about a 4-yard loss after he had picked up yardage. So here comes the man that Mike was talking about. His hometown is Quincy, Florida. He is not new, Mike, to the Clemson fans or to the system. But with Woody Dantzler there, he just did not get much of a chance to play, only in mop-up. Talk about that kind of situation.
I think the thing you'll see the difference, Ron, is Willie Simmons did come in 2 years ago against North Carolina and hit a couple or 4 touchdown passes in that ball game. There's a penalty against Clemson, so Willie Simmons is going to start his first game deep. inside the 10.
Well, we just talked about he had decent field position because Kerouac and his kickoff very short. But with the penalty, as Mike said, they're going to start from their 9-yard line.
And this is a team, Ron, that believes in throwing the football, so I wouldn't be surprised they come out pumping the ball.
Well, they'll line up in a shotgun formation. And Michael, he's a pocket passer more than he is a scrambler. But they'll go with the run on the very first handoff, and it's going to be Derek Hamilton coming from his wide receiver position as we take a look at the starters. These are the backs and receivers. The man I think to keep an eye on tonight, Kevin Youngblood. He is not marked X on his shoulder like many other players. Up front, remember this: Johnson, Chester, Walker in the middle. It is all their very first start in a Division I college football game. Second down, that game was about 4. And you see an audible being called as Rambert has come into the lineup at tailback. And they'll give the ball to him. Nothing up the middle, breaks off one tackle, and he'll take it out short of the first down to around the 18-yard line. Defensively, Gathers, Sullivan, Golston, and Pollock. Golston, a true freshman, starting at nose guard. Linebackers may be as good as the entire conference will see this year. And in the secondary, veterans on the corners, Bryant and Thornton, Davis and Curry are the safeties, and they may get picked on a little bit tonight. On third down, Georgia gangs up inside defensively. They'll try to get on the edge. Hit. Breaks off a tackle. I don't know if Rembert got the first down or not. Boss Bailey was there to hit him first, and you can see the excitement by the Georgia defense. But from where the linesman has walked in, he's going to have it by what, about a half yard?
Yeah, I think he got it, Ron, and it's a pretty good series for Clemson to come out and run the football. Their game plan is to attack the linebackers in the short passing game tonight.
Mike, do you look for Clemson, whether they're deep in their own territory tonight, to start off a little more conservative? As we see safety blitz all over him, gets the pass complete, and Youngblood breaks off a tackle and is going to be stopped almost after a gain, it is, of 11 yards. And there's the young man I was just talking about, 6'5" junior out of Jacksonville.
Yeah, Ron, to answer your question is, I expect them to come out and do what they do best, which is throw the football. They got the blitz right there. And they picked it up because Simmons was responsible for Thomas Davis. That was his man, so he knew to throw the football.
So it moves the chains. Again, they come with a blitz. Nothing in the backfield. Trying to run a reverse, and very wisely pouncing on the football is Derek Hamilton. A little razzle-dazzle on the part of Tommy Bowden, and that one almost blew up in their face.
Well, you heard Tommy Bowden in the pregame talk about warning his defense against Mark Richt. He said he worked for my dad, so expect a reverse here early. But Paul Brown, the great coach, used to say, run the reverse first and you may deter them from it.
Will Thompson is the man who stuffed the play, and that's a reason it had no flow, no rhythm. Movement on both sides of the ball, but I think the man who came out of a stance was Ben Hall. Of course, a tight end can move. We'll see what the decision is here. ACC officials tonight in the ball game. The referee is Ron Cherry, and the offsides called against the Georgia Bulldogs.
Offside on the defense. 5 yards. Your second down.
Yeah, here's the jump right here. The left tackle right here is going to jump. See, the center raised his head. He went on the head movement, not the ball.
Shotgun movement all over the place again, and Simmons going to run for it. 30, and maybe out to the 35-yard line. It's going to bring up a third down, and they're still going to need about 6. And Thomas Davis again making a tackle as a flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
Offside again on Georgia. Georgia anticipating, and they've got to. Coaches need to talk to them a little bit, settle them down a little bit. You go on ball movement, Ron. All the defensive linemen look into the football. You can't go in the head of the center. It's making it easy for Clemson. You talked about the game plan, and I really believe what Tommy Bowden's looking at is his offensive line. They 4 new starters, whether they can protect Willie Simmons.
Well, now Clemson has come in with a 4 wide receiver set. as Aries Curry checks into the lineup, a sophomore out of Columbia, South Carolina, and he's the fastest guy on the team. He is sub 4.4. See if Georgia comes after Simmons this time or if they drop off and play zone and cover. Now Simmons comes up with an audible to his offensive lineman. Plenty of time on the play clock. 9 seconds and now down to 8. And he'll take it under center. Boots the snap. And as they scramble for it, he does recover. But it was Arnold Harrison who was all over him. They haven't had a miscue with the shotgun. Mikey goes under center and they mishandle.
Yes, and Chester's the new center for him.
Yep.
The ball just didn't get up to his hands. And that's the center's fault. Here's another look. No, it did hit his hands. He didn't grab a hold of it.
So if you just joined us, here's the situation. Opening series of the night. It is a 3rd down. And for Clemson to keep this drive going, they need to go all the way out to the 41-yard line as the rain comes stronger here in Athens. Simmons looks to his left, now back to his right, throws this one up for grabs, and it is going to be knocked away. Closest man was Kevin Youngblood, but DeCorey Bryant had the cover, and he also had some help over there defensively. I believe Burt Jones was the other defensive back who was in the area helping.
When you look at Clemson's receivers, they got a lot of height. There's Kevin Youngblood. He's 6'5", so it becomes a basketball jump ball against the 5'11" Bryant.
Wynn Kopp, a senior out of Athens, Georgia. Kopp, by the way, one of the captains tonight. In fact, all 3 captains for Clemson are from the state of Georgia tonight. Damian Gary is the deep man for the Georgia Bulldogs. Well, they got return on, and it is not a good kick. Wobbly kick caught by Gary at the 33. Return to the near side. Now back into the middle. Crosses the 40. He'll take it all the way to the 45-yard line. 34 on the kick and 12 on a return as Hayward makes the tackle. Let's take a break. 14:41 left, and Georgia with their first offensive possession. So the score, Clemson nothing, and Georgia coming to bat, so to speak. And here's the man who's about to step on last year's SEC Freshman of the Year. And Mike, after the first game we did with Georgia last year, we both said the same thing. We really like this young man. Poised, just smart, and has all the tools.
Yeah, he's an excellent quarterback, Ron, and he's got the football at the 45-yard line. Great field position to start your first game.
Musa Smith dots the I, and he'll get the handoff. First down to the right side. Not Booz, but for Musa. A gain of about 3 on the play. Here are the specialists. Musa Smith, Terrence Edwards, one of the wide receivers, Ben Watson. What an outstanding tight end. They hope to get him the ball a lot tonight. Veteran group up front. And look over at left tackle, not only an academic All-American, but an All-American, just as his brother was here at Georgia. That's John Stinchcomb. Gain of about 3.5. They need to take it to the 45 of Clemson. As Terrence Edwards goes in motion to the top of your screen, and a quick pass goes out to him. No blockers are there, and he's going to be tackled for a loss. That's about loss of 5, and we'll check the defensive starters for the Clemson Tigers tonight. Eason has graduated, and one of the real leaders on this Clemson defense. The linebackers, Leak, Thomas, and Eric Sampson. And in the secondary, Toure Francis gets a start tonight. He is out of Columbia, Missouri. He is a junior, 5'11", 184 pounds. Toure moving ahead of Kevin Johnson on the depth chart. 3rd down, Georgia, and as I said, they need the 45. Good protection, and now it breaks down. Green gets it out to safety valve. Musa Smith gets 1 block, but not quite enough as he goes across midfield, and that's a good defensive start.
I was going to say that's an excellent defensive start for a defense that was young last year and took a lot of criticism from the fans and the media and the national press, and this group hung in there pretty well against Georgia in the first series.
John Leak was the man who was causing the play to go awry. Number 45. He's a junior out of Plano, Texas.
This is always the area where you expect a fake kick, because anytime you're across the 50-yard line, that could be on.
Kilgo, one of the outstanding punters in the conference. Gets a good pass and line drive boot. Caught at the 12-yard line by Mance and hit immediately and knocked down at the 20-yard line. 36 yards on the kick and 9 on the return. We'll take a break. 1 possession each, no score.
by Quaker State. For performance you can count on. Quaker State. Stay tuned.
As expected, David Green has started at quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, in talking to Mike Bobo, quarterback's coach, who was very good in that position here himself a few years ago, he said that DJ Shockley may only play a couple of series, but from a strategic standpoint, Ron, the play has already worked. All this talk about potential two-quarterback system, Tommy Bowden across the field and his other coaches watching very carefully throughout the night as the offense for Georgia comes on the field. They're afraid of Shockley's running ability.
Well, I can understand that. You know, a two-quarterback system is difficult, which we'll talk more about, but it does give you twice as much to concern yourself with if you are a defensive coordinator. We'll get Mike's comment on that as I said, as the evening goes on, and Shockley does come to the ball game. Quick pass, got it complete at the 25. Good heavens, what a hit. Youngblood made the catch, and that was Tony Gilbert, the middle linebacker, who came in and really blasted him down in a hurry. Going to be 2nd down and 5.
And that's the area Clemson wants to work on, right in front of the linebackers. They take deep drops, so hit the option route right in front of them.
And they're hoping it'll get punished on every pass play like they did on that one right there, Michael. Shotgun formation again, Willie Simmons.
That's why you wear pads.
Willie has graduated. Quincy, Florida. Straight ahead handoff. Rambert doesn't look like an ankle injury right there. And he's going to take it out across the 30 to the 33-yard line before Bailey makes the tackle. And let's check with Reese Davis at the studio.
All right, Ron, Marshall and Appalachian State. Byron Leftwich, after already leading Marshall on a touchdown drive, this for the 2-point conversion, finds his tight end Jason Rader in there. Leftwich has the Thundering Herd on the move again. They're up 17-7 in the game.
Okay, Reese, we will have them later this year in a Tuesday night game up in Huntington, West Virginia.
Against Miami, who beat North Carolina today.
Yep, 2 outstanding quarterbacks in that ball game. Counter action. Rambert got a big opening across the 45 to the 47-yard line, and Boss Bailey has to collar him. It's a gain of 13, and for a moment it looked as though it could have been much, much bigger.
Yeah, talking to Michael Kane, the quarterback coach, before the game, he talked about Bernard Rambert. He said he was slow with an ankle injury. It gets a great block by number 71, Derek Brantley, on that play. So they're attacking the weak side of Georgia's defense.
Brantley, a senior out of Mullins, South Carolina. Yusuf Kelly comes in at tailback. He wears number 5, sophomore out of Walterboro, South Carolina. Again, they work from the shotgun. Pass, left side, incomplete. Flag coming from down deep. We're going to have pass interference called against Kentrell Curry.
Jackie Robinson's the wide receiver. And he's working against Kentrell Curry. In the short side of the field, number 82, Jackie Robinson, cut off. It definitely is interference. And Clemson is moving the football.
Well, you bet they are. Not only on the ground, but with the penalties. And that one right there is very big, Mike.
And this is confidence for that offensive line. Again, 4 out of 5 new starters in that offensive line.
First down, moves the ball to the Georgia 40-yard line. About to go under 7 minutes left to play, opening quarter. Second possession of the night by the Tigers, and certainly their most impressive. Sets deep in the pocket. Pressure is on. Can't get away. Going to be sacked, and this time it is David Pollock, a sophomore out of Snellville, Georgia. And Will Thompson, we've already called his name 3 times tonight. He has been an interrupter so far.
Looked like Willie Simmons got a low snap on that play. Down low, and he gets the football and never gets a chance to get set to the pressure of Georgia.
So it is 2nd down. And now they need about 18 yards for the first down. Clemson again from the shotgun as he looks to the far sideline, and that's where he gets the play on every snap, right, Mike?
Gives the coaches a chance to see how Georgia's lined up against their formation because of the shotgun and because of the no huddle.
Had to call timeout. Game clock, or rather the play clock, was down to 2 seconds, and rather than get the penalty, so we'll take the timeout with them. 6:14 remaining, opening quarter. No score, but Clemson driving. Well, with the rain, Uga in his house on ice right now, sitting down to cool the backside. And I'm sure when the rain lets up, he'll be back out to perform. Bernard Rambert back in the ballgame at tailback. Second down, 18 yards for the first. Willie Simmons. Now there's movement up front, and again Georgia has jumped 57. Jonathan Sullivan comes across. Now was he drawn?
I don't think so.
From the looks of him looking toward the stars, which are not there tonight, no. It's going to be his
Prior to the snap. Prior to the snap. Offside. Defense.
Yeah, again,
5 yards.
Just not. You can't be happy in a coaching staff. The center, a little movement there, but right away, Jonathan Sullivan's moving on that movement, not the football.
So some lack of focus on the part of the Georgia defense to start the ball game tonight. Blitz coming off the corner. They set screen to that side. Here's Rambert. 40, 35. Oh my goodness, what a hit by Blue. Greg Blue, the redshirt freshman out of Atlanta, who comes with that big hitter mentality, stops it after a gain of 7. The youngster broke his nose 2 weeks ago. They had to go in and do some minor surgery. He came back in 5 days, and Mike, in the first scrimmage he came back on, he hit somebody just like that, and the coaches said he doesn't mind pain at all.
No, it was not well blocked because 3 Clemson athletes went after one person, left Blue open.
Third down. They need the 30. Pass caught, and it's good for the first down to Curry. And the speedster out of Columbia has a gain of 12, and they'll move the chains again. That is an impressive throw under quite a bit of duress.
Yeah, Van Gorder, the defensive coordinator of Georgia, said that he believes Willie Simmons on tape is a better passer than Woodrow Dantzler, last year's quarterback. And so far, he has proven to be an excellent passing quarterback.
4 of 5, 35 yards in our game so far, and they move the chains with a first down just inside the 25. Here comes pressure by Bailey. Gets away from Boss. Looking deep in the end zone. Got a man. It is tipped and intercepted, and now a flag comes down. And boy, this one could be really interesting. He had a man wide open in the end zone, Mike, and he underthrew it. DeCorey Bryant got the interception.
Ron, anytime you throw across your body, and that's exactly what Tommy Bowden's going to talk to him about. Anytime an interception on a long ball, usually a quarterback is thrown across his body. And that's what Willie Simmons did on that play. Tried to make something out of nothing. Here's Willie Simmons, gets pressure from the outside, gets sprinting out. That's Boss Bailey chasing him. Just seemed like he didn't get his body behind the throw.
See, he's got in the end zone.
He had Curry open. He also
I tell you, it was who been hauled the tight end, had gotten behind everybody.
Yes.
He looked like the first guy out to the workout, but he couldn't get it to him. Here's a draw play. Mooses Smith out of the 25 to around the 27-yard line. And, you know, let's go back to the point that Adrian made in the pregame show, talking about the description from Mark Richt, the head coach at Georgia. If you got a bad play, don't turn it into a disaster. And I'm sure that's what Tommy is saying on the other side of the field. You got sure points out of that drive with a field goal. Certainly don't give the ball away on just a wild throw like that.
I think he saw what you saw. He saw Ben Hall wide open in the end zone, but he couldn't get enough on the football.
So David Green with a second down and short. Actually down to play with here, but they're going to keep it on the ground. Hits back to Smith, gets a block from the lead man, and going to be stopped short of the 30-yard line. Reese Davis, what do you have for us?
Ron, we got Byron Leftwich. He threw 38 touchdown passes last year, and this would be his first one of this season against Appalachian State. Leftwich, Curtis Jones, 22 yards, and the Thundering Herd starting to pull away. It's 23-7 late in the first half.
Well, their load, some people have said they might go undefeated, or Virginia Tech might be the one that They got to try to get by. Back with this one, quarterback sneak, and I'll tell you, he doesn't have the first down. Green being pushed back. He needed to take the ball beyond the 30-yard line. Boy, a lot of pushing and shoving going on after the play is over. Now here comes a flag.
This is going to be a costly flag on either whoever's this is called on.
Well, the Georgia players are pointing toward Clemson. You could see that look of disbelief on Tommy's face. John Leake was right in the middle of things, number 45, the linebacker. Let's see if in fact he was flagged, or unless it is going to be offsetting here.
No, they're marking it.
15 yards, automatic first down.
That is a big play right there.
Put an
Because
asterisk
he
by
made
that.
the first down.
Oh, he didn't, Mike.
And now all of a sudden you get the good field position again for Georgia's offense.
Well, we just lost a bank of lights at the top rung over across the way as the running play. Musa Smith bangs off one tackler. Going to have a gain of about 3. Eric Sampson will make the tackle on him. And let's hope we don't start losing anymore, Michael, or we're going to be sitting here talking between the two of us.
In the dark.
Well,
Ron,
we've been in the dark before, Mike.
I want to go back to what Adrian's report was after this play. Just talk a little bit about the quarterback situation here at Georgia.
So it'll be 2nd down and 7. Line of scrimmage just short of the 50-yard line. 3 wide receiver set this time, and now he's going to move Musa Smith over. 4 seconds down to 3 on the play clock. And he gives it to Smith right up the middle, goes over midfield to the 48. They'll have a 3rd down at about 3. Donnell Washington making the stop.
Ron, when Mark Richt announced that he was going to play the backup quarterback Shockley, I think that's a mistake because no one cares who the second tight end is or who the second receiver is or the second running back, but they care who the second quarterback is. And when you put yourself in that position, if David Green doesn't have a real good first half here and all of a sudden you put Shockley in the ball game, then you got a controversy.
Well, the flag has come down, and that's going to be roughing the passer. I think on Rodney Thomas. Roughing the passer. And boy, the flags have really been flying here tonight.
And all against Clemson.
Well, the Georgia defense also, Mike.
Georgia defense for offsides. But when you talk those 5 yards, 5 yards, these are big penalties right here. And Tommy Bowden's not real happy with this officiating crew. Even though they're from the ACC, he's not a happy camper right now.
3 penalties, 41 yards against the Clemson Tigers. And instead of Georgia having to punt very deep in their own territory after this penalty right here, Mike, they're going to have a 1st down scrimmaging inside the Tiger 35-yard line.
Yeah, by rights, Clemson should have had the football back on a punt return.
They should have. They had earned that right through good play, but then with the penalties, they really got hurt. And of course, that's their fault as well. Stepping up is Green. Far side, drills it complete. That's Terrence Edwards, the senior out of Tenille, Georgia. Good for 15 yards, and that's as pretty a pass and catch as you can find.
Well, David Green, Mark Richt made it clear he's the quarterback, and we talked to him the other day about the situation. He said, I want to do what's best for the team. And here he throws a nice out pass to Terrence Edwards. 17 touchdown passes last year, 9 interceptions.
Under 2 minutes to play, opening quarter. Georgia with certainly their most serious effort of the night. Now here's an option. Play clock at 7. Now it's 6. And it'll go to Musa Smith into the short side of the field. He's going to have the first down inside the 10 and being picked up and pushed back at the 9. It will be 1st and goal for the Bulldogs, tackled by Brian Mance.
Big block by John Stinchcomb, the tackle to get Musa Smith to the outside. Here's the block right here. John Stinchcomb, and opens up Musa Smith for extra yardage.
Also J.T. Wald, the fullback, with an outstanding block. You could see Stinchcomb got rid of the first man at the line of scrimmage and then went down the field and got contact with still another. It is not going to be a first down. I beg your pardon. From the mark that they gave him, I thought he had the first, but it's going to be shy just by inches. Adrian Karsten, what do you have for us down on the sideline?
In conversation with the offensive line leader, John Stinchcomb, he says, you know, it's not that we prefer one quarterback over another. Just give us some consistency. And in that consistency, we find David Green. 11 of 11 his first passes against Arkansas State to open up last year. It's just that David Green brings more calm and kind of a quiet to our huddle. We have more confidence in him because he has more confidence in himself.
Okay, Adrian, second down and short. With the ball inside the 10-yard line. 8th play of the drive by the Bulldogs. Kept alive by 2 15-yard penalties against Clemson. Musa Smith right up the middle at the 5-yard line. He'll be pushed back, but he's got the first down. And now it is first down and goal for the Georgia Bulldogs. Good block again by Stinchcomb.
Musa Smith averaged 4.6 yards per rush last year. They held him out of everything since the last game of last year. They rehabbed him. Hit on him in 2-a-days, but they wanted him healthy this year for this run they want to make for the SEC East.
Well, he doesn't mind being a workhorse. He enjoys 30 carries a ball game. He thrives off that. Motion. Green steps up into the pocket. Now drills it, and touchdown, Georgia. It is Damian Gary. Billy Bennett trots on to attempt the extra point out of the hold of punter Jonathan Kilgo, number 83. Right down the middle. 51 seconds left. Opening quarter, and we finally have a score as the home folks. The Georgia Bulldogs, as you take one more look at the touchdown, and a great job of poise by David Green. Steps up. There's Gary. Touchdown. 7-0. Georgia on top. We'll be right back. Georgia. Packed house here tonight. Little rain falling, but it hasn't dampened any spirits. This is the opening home game. And anytime these two schools get together, and I'm not sure, Mike, that people around the nation fully understand how big this rivalry is. That because Clemson and Athens physically are so close to each other, between 80 and 100 miles. Clemson signs a lot of players out of the state of Georgia, and conversely, the Georgia Bulldogs signs a lot of kids out of South Carolina. They recruit a lot of the same youngsters.
Well, that's what the Georgia coaches did the other day. Mark Ricks had all his team say who was recruited by Clemson. He said over 50 hands went up, and he said, now you know they recruit good players over there too, so they're after the same group of players, both these universities.
Hamilton and Robinson, the two deep men, as you look at the quarterback on the sideline as Brett Kerouac prepares to kick it off. His first one was very short, and this one is very high and short. It's a good coverage kick from the 12. Robinson gets by a tackler 25, and it's going to be stopped at the 30-yard line. Well, the 2002 NFL season kicks off right here on Thursday, September the 5th, as San Francisco takes on New York. Coverage begins with a special edition of NFL Countdown at 6:30 Eastern. And for more on upcoming games, log on to ESPN.com, and the keyword is schedule.
Now Clemson has to regain that poise. They started this football game with, they kind of lost their poise after the interception by Simmons.
Simmons 4 of 6, 1 interception for 35 yards. That's Kelly, the tailback, and he gives it to him. Again, that counter action. And a couple of yards, knocked down very hard at the 32-yard line. Defensively, Tony Gilbert, who we mentioned how active all these linebackers are, but this group of Gilbert, Boss Bailey, and Chris Clemons extremely good. A lot of people say the interesting thing about Gilbert, Bailey and some other defensive players get a lot more attention, but that Gilbert is in fact the blue-collar guy. He's the heart and soul of his defense. Only 6 feet, weighs 244. 7-0. Tigers lead. Clock running down, and this could be the final play of the opening quarter. And the horn sounds and the whistles go, and that is the end of the first quarter. So let's take a break. Georgia 7, Clemson nothing. Back with the second 15 right after this. So it's second down and 7. Willie Simmons, with the exception of the interception, has really played extremely well, but he lost his poise in the one play, and it cost him. Play action, going to reverse it out, got a man wide open, and that's the tight end Hall, and he will have the first down. So let's take a look at game track, and just in case you have just now joined us, this is what had happened. Constant penalties against both sides, but 2 15-yarders against Clemson, really costly. Then the interception by Georgia to Corey Bryant, and then Georgia scores first on that pass to Damian Gary. 57 and 53 the total yards for each team, with Clemson on top at the end of the first quarter. Yusuf Kelly continues to operate at tailback. He gets the handoff and nothing. Going to be hit and knocked down behind the line of scrimmage, and it looks like Sullivan, one of the first men there, along with Golston, the true freshman, starting at nose guard tonight. They teamed up to make the stop.
Jonathan Sullivan is like Stroud and Seymour a couple years ago, that they had so many good defensive players under Jim Donnan that went on to pro football, but this Jonathan Sullivan is just like Stroud and Seymour.
Golston, we'll talk more about him as the night goes on. True freshman to start in a program like this at nose tackle is really saying something. They're asking him to step up big time on his opening night in college football. Going to be a draw play, but the quarterback Simmons, because the snap was dropped. I don't think that was designed. Do you, Mike?
No, the snap came bouncing back, and that's a problem for Willie Simmons. This snap has been all over the place all night. Here it comes, ground ball. He's got to play like a shortstop here to just field the football, and then Pollock makes the tackle on him. So Chester is making life tough for Willie Simmons right now.
Chester, along with the 2 guards, first time start in 1A football. Gets a good pass this time. You see the blitz right at the middle, and the pass goes out in the flat to Kelly, and Kelly is going to be hit and gang tackle. Thomas Davis was the first man there to just mess up everything.
Thomas Davis has been active all night as a blitzer from the outside. He's a very good tackler, redshirt freshman, 6'1", 223. Reads the screen right away, comes up, makes a good tackle, and then gets help from a bunch of his friends.
Mike Wincop with his second punt of the night. Nobody had to show him the locker room here tonight. He is a former Georgia punter, and as we mentioned, one of the team captains tonight. All 3 captains for Clemson this evening from the state of Georgia. Left footer's kick. This spiral is going to turn over. Fair catch is signaled for and is made at the 20-yard line. Damian Gary makes the catch, and it's a 38-yard punt. So we'll take a break. 7-0 Georgia. Well, welcome back. Tonight's Aflac trivia question. Who is the last SEC freshman of the year to later be named SEC Most Valuable Player? That answer coming up later on.
First and 10 Bulldogs from the 20.
Big series for Clemson's defense. Got a lot of positives in the first quarter, but lost their poise. Picked up a big penalty that led to Georgia's touchdown.
J.T. Wall is the fullback again. Musa Smith the tailback. And it's Fred Gibson in motion. This is Smith off the left side, caught by the ankles. And Reese Davis, let's check with you at the studio.
Okay, Ron, new season, new number for Chris Sims. Same old result, at least early in the season. Number 2 now in your program, sneaking into the end zone. And Texas grabbing the lead on North Texas. They're up 14-0 still in the first quarter. And look at this. South Carolina. This might delight some of our audience who might have the Clemson persuasion. 13-10, they're struggling in the third.
Our situation, 7-0 Georgia leads. Bulldogs at the line of scrimmage, and it's Green going to throw. Had a man wide open over the middle, and Reggie Brown. Wow. Reggie is 6'1", and he needed to be about 8'1" to catch that one. Boy, was he open.
I tell you, David Green liked to have this back, but he gets hit. Watch the fake. Now watch him get blasted right there. He had enough time to get Reggie Brown, though.
Genley is the man who was there to put the pads and the headgear on him, so he did have to deliver in a hurry. You see the numbers on green: 23 yards, 4 or 5, and 1 touchdown. That one to Gary. Third down. They need the 31-yard line to keep this one going.
A lot of room out of here.
Good protection. Gets this one too high, and it's intercepted at the 45-yard line. Finally stopped at the 31 is Kevin Morris, a junior linebacker out of Timminsville, South Carolina.
Well, each team has helped the other team. The 15-yard penalty by Clemson, and David Green overthrows this football. You talked about being 8-1. You need to be 11-1 on that one to get that one. So, again, a good interception by Kelvin Morris. And Clemson in great field position. Now you figure those wide receivers, the big, tall wide receivers of Clemson. Hamilton should be a target here.
2 wide receivers to the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. Movement at the line of scrimmage. And either Chester moved or
no, I think
Kendrick Golston is.
I think it's offside again.
Well, he's going to come right out of the ball game. It's going to be offside against Georgia, so they give him 5 yards. We salute the men and women of Keflavik, Iceland, the U.S. Navy exchange who works tirelessly to support our sailors, airmen, and Marines assigned to the top of the rock. Keflavik, Iceland.
Tommy Sharp in at center now.
Sharp, a sophomore out of Albany, Georgia. And here comes quarterback Simmons. Has 5, has 10, and push him out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Bruce Thornton, it's a gain of 15 on the play.
Now, when we talked to Clemson coaches, they said, now, Willie Simmons is not going to run as much as Woodrow Dantzler did, but he can run, and he shows you an extra gear right here, getting in the secondary on the draw play. Here's where you got to defend those tall receivers down here.
First and goal, the ball at the 9.5-yard line. Willie Simmons deep in the pocket, drills the pass way too tall. That one intended for McKelvey. Thornton was working against him. Bruce, a junior out of LaGrange, Georgia. And that'll stop the clock with 11 minutes and 36 seconds left in this opening half. Here's a look at Tommy Sharp. Jermaine Chester is much larger than Sharp, and one of the reasons probably that he starts ahead of him, but he has had problems with the shotgun snap tonight, so Sharp in the ball game now, replacing Jermaine Chester. They go with the running play. Jasmine, the fullback, inside the 5, and he's down to around the 2-yard line, pushed out of bounds by Thomas Davis.
Well, they're really working the left side of the offensive line, the defensive right side, and having success against Georgia.
Big Gary Bird, number 79, who has already graduated, 6'4", 309, one of the men leading the charge out there on that play, and Cedric Johnson, who also was over 300 pounds, Mike.
A good offensive line, a young offensive line, but very good here in the first half.
Bernard Rambert, number 20, comes back in at tailback. Play clock now under 5, and the pitch back comes to Rambert, and he will score. So Cedric Johnson pulling on the play, and a good block by Gary Bird, and the Clemson Tigers a point away from making this one a tie ball game. Aaron Hunt to attempt the extra point. Gets a good one, and he's right downtown, right down the middle. So with 11 minutes, 23 seconds left until halftime, we are tied.
In the left side of the line, here does a nice job. Good block by the fullback. And a touchdown for Clemson.
So a costly interception. We're tied. To tonight's Aflac trivia question, the last SEC freshman of the year to later be named the most valuable player in the league, Peyton Manning, 1994 SEC freshman of the year, 97 the SEC most valuable player. Ron Franklin, Mike Godfrey to Adrian Karsten coming to you from a jam-packed Sanford Stadium on the campus of the University of Georgia. Hunt prepares to kick it away for the Tigers, and now we're tied again at 7 apiece. This one's going to be short, and return from the 9-yard line is Fred Gibson, and Gibson caught by the back of the shoulder pads and pulled down on a tough tackle. Lucky that he held on to the football at the 24. And it looks as though Shockley is going to come into the ball game. DJ Shockley, highly acclaimed freshman last year, was redshirted. He is out of College Park, Georgia. His dad, a high school coach.
And Ron, here's what I was talking about earlier. David Green didn't really play that badly, but his interception led to the score, and now all of a sudden you got the second-team quarterback in. I say it's a mistake to announce it, because all of a sudden you got 80,000 coaches in the stands that are may start to pull for the backup quarterback, because everybody pulls for the backup quarterback. They want the backup quarterback. So I would have did it this way, but I would not have announced it.
Team. That's a 5-yard penalty. We'll replay the kick.
And they're going to replay the kickoff, and that's kind of a strange call there. It took a long time.
I started to say, you know, it's like it
slow motion.
Yeah. If offside on the kick, then the offense had time to come on the field. The quarterback had time to stand on the sideline and talk to his coach, and then come out. And we're going to send a kickoff team back out there again.
Players are saying it's a hot night. We've got to run on the field here.
So Shockley gets a couple of moments to wait and see what happens on the kick return right here.
Positives, Ron, though, it's what Adrian talked about. If you get two quarterbacks and you do well, it's tough to prepare for two different style quarterbacks, but you don't want a quarterback controversy, and you put yourself in a position to get one when you announce that you're going to play a second guy, because you got to all of a sudden look at the clock and say, when am I going to get him in? You know, so you put more pressure on yourself doing that too.
Well, you do, and your point is well taken, as far as all of a sudden then you got 86,000 Monday morning quarterbacks here to second guess, you know, what is happening this evening. So let's go back to the kickoff. Offside in the last one, and then we do it again. Hunt, very high but very short, and it's going to come down again to Gibson. From the 10, 30, 40, he's off. Goodbye. We will not see DJ Shockley. We will see a 91-yard kickoff return by Fred Gibson, the sophomore out of Waycross.
Never fails. Special teams in the first game.
He also was a basketball player here at Georgia, and I'm sure that Jim Herrick has got his chest out right now saying, look at my player get down the field. Look at it again, Mike.
Jim Herrick saying, go Fred. Go dump the ball into goalpost.
91 yards in the kick return. Georgia back on top. That came by way of special teams, and again a penalty costly to the Clemson Tigers. As you look at Gibson,
killed him.
College football celebrates the holiday weekend on ESPN2. Sunday over on ESPN2 at 6 Eastern. It's a battle for bragging rights in the Bluegrass State as Kentucky takes on the Louisville Cardinals. And for more on our upcoming games, log on to ESPN.com, and the keyword is schedule.
Tell you, Louisville is loaded.
You know, the one thing they got to get by, though, Ragon in their spring game was sacked 6 times. They got 4 new people out of 5 on the offensive line, and that's something that early they're going to have to be really diligent about.
You know what that means?
What?
They got a good defense.
Oh my. Well, I mean, he didn't even play the whole game and he got sacked 6 times.
He might have gone out at halftime. Is the glass half full or half empty?
Well, I don't blame them in Louisville. The glass is half filled because that's a good football team.
And to be a 2-touchdown favorite over the SEC team, your rival. So that says a lot about what people think about them.
Hamilton and Robinson, the 2 deep men, ready for the kick from Kerouac, hoping that they can duplicate what just happened with the Georgia special teams. Very high. It's a pooch kick, and that's an open area. Spare catch is called for and is made by McKelvey, and a very smart play on his part. Reese Davis, let's check with you again.
Ron, it is over. It is all over. The nation's longest losing streak is history. Carl Franks and Duke beating East Carolina 23-16. The Dukies off to a 1-0 start. Notre Dame and Maryland playing. Notre Dame was on the move. Carlisle Holiday just took a big sack. Fighting Irish behind Tyrone Willingham, up 3-0 in the second quarter.
Okay, Reese, our situation 14-7 following that 91-yard kick return. Now we got Rambert and Yusuf Kelly, both tailbacks in the ball game, and again they go shotgun. Looking long up the right side, got a step and drop. Oh my goodness, Curry. Aries Curry, we said, was a sub-4.4 sprinter. DeCorey Bryant simply couldn't stay up with him, and DeCorey is not slow, and the ball hit him in the worst spot, right in the hands. Watch this.
Curry's a freshman All-American in track, ran a 4.2540. But it doesn't matter how fast you are if you don't take the football with you.
And they say 5'11". That might be being very gracious as far as his size, but he can really motor.
I tell you, DeCorey Bryant knows how fast he is now. He just blew by him.
Rambert, the lone setback this time on 2nd and 10. Blitz comes off the corner. They throw a screen to that direction and almost intercepted as Tony Gilbert is the man that blew the play up.
Talked about Tony Gilbert, the leading tackler on this football team last year. When we talked to Boss Bailey yesterday at practice, he said the one thing about Tony Gilbert is he's fundamentally strong.
Mike, here are a couple of things about that kick return for a touchdown. The first time since 1990 that Georgia has had a kick return for a touchdown, and it's the first time that a Bowden team has allowed a kick return, punt or kickoff, since he has been at Clemson, this is the 4th year.
Well, it's the 2nd time they kicked it. They may have been tired going down.
Here comes the pressure from the front 4. Sullivan is there. Boss Bailey tackled almost, and then Simmons goes down, and that's David Pollock. David's motor just keeps running, and the front 4 with a lot of pressure, and they didn't have to bring the backers on that one. Loss of 13.
Yeah, David Pollock, a guy, a hard-nosed guy, high-motion guy, high school fullback. He's good friends with David Green. That's why he chose Georgia.
Wincop waiting for the snap back at the 1-yard line.
Georgia should get this ball. They should return this kick from the 50-yard line.
Well, they dropped the snap, and it's off the side of his foot. This is a not-so-good kick. And it is picked up very wisely inside the 35-yard line, and that's Thomas Davis who took it on down the field. The special team players, Mike, for Clemson just stopped. 6 yards in the kick and 13 on the return. I've never seen that number, less than 10, and then a double figures return. I don't believe.
Special teams and penalties have just killed Clemson in this first half. Off the side of his foot. Shockley now gets great field position to work his quarterback position.
So Shockley Hands the ball off to Musa Smith, and he's going to fight his way to the 15-yard line. Bryant McNeil is the first man to make contact, of maybe a gain of a half yard. Well, Davis with a very smart play ran up, said, hey, nobody's going to pick up this football, and there are no special teams players around me. Picked it up and returned it 13 yards in a great situation for Shockley and the Georgia Bulldogs.
Shockley, a very good running quarterback.
Sets in the pocket. Now here comes the draw at the 10, and he'll be tackled at the 9-yard line as number 3 Eric Meekins stops him after a gain of 6.
Rodney Thomas also there, the middle linebacker. David Green watching on the sideline. We talked to David Green. He said, hey, I'm for the team first, and whatever's going to help us be a good football team, I'm for that first, and then myself down the line.
8.5 minutes left to play until halftime. 14-7 Georgia, and they're knocking on the door right here. You can see that play clock is now down to 6 and to 5. Shockley looks to the right, nothing there. Now going to sprint at the 5, puts on a move, he will score. When Shockley made the fake, Eric Meekins left laundry on the field.
That's what he brings to this football team. A quarterback that comes into the football game, is an excellent runner, very good thrower too. You know, you're all right if both quarterbacks get along, because if they don't get along, then teammates start to choose sides. But you're all right as long as they get along.
Look at this move, Mike, and watch Meekins buy the fake. Looks to his right, nothing there. Now watch this move right here. So DJ Shockley, the redshirt freshman out of College Park, Georgia, puts the Dogs up 21-7. The ball game, you know, as a former head coach, it just sends shockwaves through defensive coordinators around the league, because now you don't have one guy to break down, you got 2 to break down.
I would expect to see David Green back in the next series.
This is Hamilton. Great coverage downfield. I'll tell you, these short kicks have really been paying off for both teams. Kenny Bailey, the reserve corner and the brother of Boss and also Champ Bailey, got downfield quickly.
This Clemson football team has to regroup right now, or they're going to get blown right out of here. This is a big 8 minutes on the clock right now for Clemson, because they self-destructed. It wasn't Georgia as much as they've self-destructed.
Well, some long distance stairs already on the far sideline. We'll see if Rambert, the tailback, he has had some success tonight. If he can get the Tigers going here from the 21. He gets it right at the middle. Has 5, has 10, and counted off at close to 13 yards on the play. Kentrell Curry, the junior out of Toccoa, Georgia, comes over to make the tackle.
One of the questions is this Georgia defense is the front, and Clemson with a new offensive line opens it up pretty well for Rambert to get in the secondary. So a pretty good job by the blocking front 5.
7 carries, 35 yards for Bernard Rambert. Suffered an ankle sprain on a kick return in practice this week. Tommy Bowden didn't know if he was going to be able to go. Did not think he'd be 100%, but he has contributed in a good way in the early going. Simmons rolls the pocket, has this one complete at the 40-yard line, short of the first down to Jackie Robinson. And Reese Davis, what do you have for us?
Well, remember, Ron, last year Troy State hung around with Miami for a half. They gave Nebraska trouble for a half, and Jermaine Richardson trying to give Nebraska more trouble into the second half. Goes in for Troy State, and Larry Blakeney's Trojans just down by 4 in the third quarter.
When I watched Nebraska last week, they should have been taken out of the top 10, because they're not as far along as they're not a top probably 15 team right now.
Could be with all the talent they have, but your point's well taken. Right now they're not. 6:50 left to play. Hit in the backfield. Rambert is going to be knocked down, and it's 47. David Pollock. We have mentioned a couple of times in this first half that his motor runs constantly, and he's been all over the place. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, Adrian Karsten coming to you from a wet, not a downpour, but just a drizzle here in Athens, Georgia. And the game track, special teams, 91-yard kickoff return for the Georgia Bulldogs, Green and Shockley, with a touchdown apiece. Third down, they need to take it to the 45. Jermaine Chester back in the ballgame at center. And look at the pressure coming up the middle. Simmons runs for his life, gets it away, and it's going to be incomplete. Adrian Karsten, what do you have for us?
Well, David Green was up throwing and was going to make Mike's idea come through, but he's got cramping in his left arm, Ron, and that's his throwing arm, of course. Ron Course, the head trainer for Georgia, was taking a look at him. Now with helmet back on, he's snapping up. There was a question here whether it was going to be Shockley or Green. Now it looks like Green going back in, but cramping in his left throwing arm, Ron.
When DJ Shockley scored that touchdown, those cramps left.
Win Kopp, his third punt. The last one was not even in double figures after dropping the snap. Gets this one, and here's a high driving spiral. Best kick of the night. Fair catch is called for and is made at the 13. It's Damian Gary. 48 yards in the kick. And a reminder, tomorrow at 2:30, ABC Sports Holiday Weekend Bash presented by AT&T Wireless continues. The LSU Tigers facing off against Virginia Tech. And of course, Tech won big in their opener 63-7, but the Tigers picked by many to win the West in the SEC. That is a great matchup. Don't miss the first ever meeting between these two teams on ABC Sports.
I'm going to be watching that game in Bristol, Connecticut. Looking forward to it.
Well, the entire number 2 down 4 in the ball game for Clemson as this pass is thrown in the flat and complete. And that's the tight end Ben Watson. And it's going to go for a gain of about 4 yards in the play. Now the numbers on Green his freshman year. And you see why Mikey was freshman of the year. Almost 2,800 yards, 17 touchdowns.
When we saw him play last year, he was good as any quarterback in the country.
Musa Smith straight ahead. He'll go to the 21. J.J. Howard making the tackle. Now you're beginning to see on the screen that the rain, the mist, a very heavy mist, is picking up here in Athens.
The thing I like most about David Green is his poise. Very poised young man.
Draw play. Musa Smith, big opening up the middle, 25 out to the 30, and stopped at the 21, and that will move the sticks as Rodney Feaster, number 47, a senior out of Chester, South Carolina, makes the stop.
And I really believe Georgia has tired Clemson defense on their hands right now. They're picking up the speed of the no huddle.
From the shotgun, pressure off the corners. Green from the backside is going to be hit, and he threw the ball anyway. And because as Vaughn makes the tackle, Reggie Brown, they're going to say he was down before he threw it. That's the reason they didn't call intentional grounding. So the sack is a -12.
The other thing about the quarterback position, Ron, you really need to know you're the quarterback. And Mark Richt has made it plain and clear to David Green. He is the starting quarterback. So that's the confidence that you have to play with.
Second down and 22. Screen to the left side, and Smith, Boyd pays for that one as it's a little bit high. John Leake was there to knock him down hard, and Donnell Washington was putting the pressure on the quarterback, David Green.
Now, John Leake has been all over this football field in the first half. And they really right now with 2 timeouts and 4:33, this is a big stop. If they can stop Georgia right here and get good field position to try to put some points and get this game a little closer before half.
Well, third down at 22. Tony Milton comes in the ball game, number 9 at tailback. And they'll try to get him in the flat, but they're going to go on top. And that's Terrence Edwards on the far sideline. Incomplete. The ball tipped away as Kevin Johnson had the cover and did a very nice job in that secondary. John Lovett, the new defensive coordinator, actually needs to be saluted because penalties is what cost him on the drive, 2 15-yarders. their second touchdown of the night.
And Kevin Johnson did a good job there. 3rd and 22, they just put it up for grabs, and figured if they get it picked off, it's good as a punt.
Well, Brian Mance is the deep man as Kilgo gets a good snap. And this is a line drive kick, very returnable. Makes it at the 36. Up the far sideline and almost to midfield. Good heavens, he had his headgear taken off. Ben Watson, the big tight end, is the man who made the hit. 45 on the kick, 13 on the return, 4 yards on the helmet fly. Oh my goodness!
Chin strap the next time.
Wow. Well, you're right. When you don't buckle all 4 of them, that's what can happen. And he is extremely fortunate that he did not get injured on that play.
Will be on SportsCenter tonight.
Well, I'm just glad that the youngster's okay. It doesn't have missing teeth or a broken nose. Yusuf Kelly comes in the ball game at tailback again, replacing Rambert.
Still waiting for this guy to get untracked. Hamilton, Derek Hamilton.
Simmons under pressure and just throws it away. And this is going to be intentional grounding called against Willie Simmons as Robert Geathers was all over him.
No flag. Everybody has first game jitters. Every now and then the officials have first game where things don't go exactly as planned.
Simmons was outside the tackles. Pass is incomplete at 2nd and 10.
How you understate. 21-7, Georgia leads. 4:02 remaining until halftime. And from the short gun, right over the middle, good. Heavens, it was high. Way overthrown. Reese Davis, let's check with you again.
All right, Ron, Chris Sims back in the saddle for Texas and putting up some nice numbers. Up 14-0 on North Texas. Sims firing a dart in there to Brock Edwards. Edwards scoring the touchdown. The Longhorns are hooking him 21-0 in the second.
Now, a lot of people picking the Horns as their preseason #1, but many hills to climb before the end of the season for them. 3rd down. They need to take it to the 41-yard line and movement. Number 71, Derek Bradley, came out of his stance over on the right side.
Talk about Texas. In Oklahoma, we saw them last night against Tulsa. Everybody's picking the winner of that game to go to the national championship. They could be, if Oklahoma beats Texas in that game, Texas doesn't lose to anybody else. They have a tough enough schedule that they could maybe get a rematch in the championship game.
They're both in the same division, though, Michael.
I know, but Oklahoma's going to go play in the championship game, so if Texas can win
okay,
their
I see
game,
what you mean. Yeah.
The other team nobody's counting on, and the way they looked in the first game, they got a great schedule. So Ohio State, great schedule.
Well, Simmons comes up and is coming with an audible. Here comes the blitz from a safety. Now pressure inside from Sullivan. Puts this one up down the far sideline, looking for Curry, and it is almost intercepted. Knocked down and incomplete as DeCorey Bryant was up to the task on that play. Youngblood actually 1-7 rather than #1.
Georgia is not letting Willie Simmons get his feet set. They've got him on the move, and they're hitting him. Here's Youngblood going for the football. It's a better job for DeCorey Bryant not to intercept that football, just drop it.
And a low pass from center, and here's the kick. This one not as long as the last one, which was 48. On the run, the catch is made at the 26 by Damian Gary, and it's 31 yards on the boot. Well, coming up, the Saturn halftime report. Big House Classic, Rocky Mountain Rivalry, and the Game Day Gang. As a flag is down.
It's the Brady bunch here.
So, coming to the sidelines, and Mark Richt and his staff looking on, wanting to know exactly what the call is going to be, and maybe we will have an announcement here in just a second, but it is going to be against the Georgia Bulldogs.
Tommy Bowden getting it explained to him on the sideline. Well, there's 12 men on the field. I don't think that's
illegal
call.
participation. Yeah. That's with both hands on top of the head. Yeah. Guys, the Continental Congress didn't meet this long.
Yeah,
ACC officials.
They had a substitution, Ron. When you looked at that play, there was 3 Georgia players almost didn't get off when the ball was snapped. Yeah.
On the receiving team, the 12th player left the field, did not get off in time. 5 yards. We're going to decline the penalty. First down.
Here's what happened on that last play. Georgia players getting off late here, 3 of them. I think they played 8-man football in that play. A long time for nothing.
I start to say the penalty was declined, and that was what, 5 minutes ago that it happened. Oh boy, kind of bogged down here in the second half.
Fred Gibson, an outstanding looking receiver, showed us what he could do on the kickoff.
Green shovel pass, gets it away to number 18 Damian Gary, and he's going to have a first down. Now how quick thinking was that? Eric Sampson made the tackle, but it's a gain of 10 yards.
David Green was looking for Fred Gibson, but had pressure again, dropped the ball to Gary, flipped it. And he does everything at the quarterback position. Very strong quarterback, but also a pretty good runner in himself.
Official timeout for measurement.
Official timeout for a measurement here.
Here is 6 shot and first down.
Georgia with 3 timeouts left. Total yards here, Ron, pretty even. Penalties have been the difference. Penalties and special teams.
Crosstown rivalry between Houston and Rice. The Cougars on top of that one, 14-0 in the early going. And straight ahead with the quarterback sneak, and that'll be enough for the first down. Khalid Vaughn making the tackle. You look at Willie Simmons over on the bench. Talked to him the other day on the phone, and I was interested, Mike, in the fact that he has graduated, one of a number of players on the Clemson team. And it takes a load off when they don't have that huge class load as far as 15 hours or so in graduate school. Green looks to his left, swings this one out to Musa Smith, and a nice job defensively. John Lake, another guy we talked to the other day, and I'll tell you what, we asked him how he got out of the state of Texas. He played at Plano East, which is a really good school just north of Dallas. And he had friends and coaches who talked to him and said, hey, you know, he kind of liked the Clemson Tigers. And I'll tell you, at the end of last year in this opening ball game, he's really come alive for them. Play will take it out over the 40. Musa Smith with a short gain. Kevin Morris making the tackle. Under 2 minutes left to play until halftime. High snap, but Green pulls it down, gets it away, and he got blasted just as the pass was thrown by Thomas. Rodney Thomas put him down, and Green is a little slow in getting off the turf.
Well, he got leveled, Ron. Rodney Thomas's helmet's right in his midsection on this play.
And Green is not a small youngster at 6'3", 227. But Thomas at 255 coming with a full head of steam put him down hard. And it means that the punter, Jonathan Kilgo, will have to come out and kick the ball away. The third punt by Georgia tonight.
David Green has taken some shots.
Twice tonight, Rodney Thomas.
False start. Offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. We still have 4th down.
Twice tonight, Rodney Thomas has put down the quarterback, David Green, with really stiff hits. Crowd beginning to boo here and getting a little restless over the officiating.
You know, sometimes I don't often agree with the crowd. But
do you tonight, Mike?
Every now and then. Well, I don't think you should boo. I'd just like to see the game
move a little bit, yeah. Instead of taking forever.
Well said.
1:36 showing on the game clock, and here's the boot. He'll go again with a line drive kick. It's caught on the run by Mance, and he'll be hit after a gain of about 3 to 4 yards on the return. 35 yards on the kick. And Mike, let me ask you now, if you're Clemson, you still got 1:24 to play here. Do you play it a little conservative, or do you?
No, I think that's a Bowden over there. So I figure that offense is his game. So he's got 1:24 on the clock and 2 timeouts. So he's got a lot of time to work with here.
As we mentioned, first time since Tommy has been at Clemson that his team gave up a return for a touchdown, either kickoff or punt return. Looking for Hamilton, and that ball is underthrown. Actually, Ben Hall, the tight end, the closest man to it. Reese Davis, let's check with you.
All right, Ron, coming up at halftime, you schedule a big-time game like we're enjoying right now, and you might get a classic like we did in the Big House. We've got a rivalry in the Rocky Mountains, and we'll check in with Chris Lee and Kirk, the Game Day gang. Trev Alberts is here. We'll have scores and highlights. Nation's longest losing streak's over. See you in a bit.
Okay, Reese, thanks a million. By the way, that pass, the reason it was so short, David Pollock got a hand on it and tipped it. David's had an outstanding first half. Wisely, Willie Simmons gets out of bounds just across the 40-yard line, and that leaves 1:11 until halftime. Boss Bailey, the closest man to him.
Did you watch a Michigan game today a little bit?
Yeah.
That's a penalty. I know Rick Neuheisel has got to feel sick about that 12 men on the field. That's a penalty that just shouldn't happen, and that really opened the door to Lloyd Carr and the Michigan football team.
Did it ever? I mean, otherwise they don't have an opportunity, Mike. Third down here. Clemson needs to take it to the 46. Low snap from center. Pass is caught, and that's Youngblood, and he will take it for the first down around midfield.
Trying again to tack underneath the linebacker's drops. Youngblood just hooking up, running an option route. Simmons delivers.
Clemson blue combining on the stop. We talked about Youngblood off the top of the telecast. The coaches saying that he's underrated, and they like him. Another low pass from center, but he scooped it up. Now he's going to go long, and in the end zone, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Derek Hamilton.
Simmons' pass is incomplete.
Curry had the cover on that one.
It's 2 touchdown passes that Clemson could have brought in for Willie Simmons. A lot of bumping going on down there. Derek Hamilton against Curry. Hamilton again, 6'4". They got tall receivers, but couldn't bring it in.
Well, Curry, the last one that had the misfortune on the dead run of having the ball hit him in the hands, and he kind of fought it a bit and dropped it.
I'm going to start booing. This is just too slow. You affect the team. You affect the play of the team.
Of course you do.
There can't be any rhythm in the football game.
25 seconds.
And the play clock has gone down and didn't get started. They're trying their best, though. That's all you can ask.
Now Tommy's out on the field, and Willie Simmons going over to talk to him.
It's like baseball.
No, Mike, baseball is not this slow. Second down and 10. And we're going to play football. 47 seconds left until halftime. And the screen to Youngblood near sideline. Boy, he gets wrapped down hard by Greg Blue.
Almost hit that seam. Kevin Youngblood well blocked outside Georgia with good pursuit. Clemson going to take one of their 2 remaining timeouts.
Well, Clemson calls a timeout. 37 seconds left until halftime. And you can see the Tigers actually have 1 more timeout remaining.
Saw the score, Florida 51-3. So the offense, Ed Zombrecker and Ron Zook having a pretty good evening. Oregon State, or Oregon rather, beat Mississippi State.
Mike Price and Washington State off to a good start today over Nevada with a big win. That score went by just a moment ago.
Yeah, they got to go to Columbus here in a couple weeks. And
you know what's going to be interesting, though? That's strength against strength. Because some people on the coast and visiting with them prior to the season said that the front 7 for Washington State may be as good as any front 7 in the country. And with the running strength that the Buckeyes have, that is definitely the best against the best in that one.
It should be a good football game. A lot of interesting games today.
So time is back in. 37 seconds showing on the clock. Georgia 21 and Clemson 7.
Different center in Tommy Sharp.
Tommy Sharp, yep, he's back in the ball game. That's Curry in motion to the top of your screen. See if they try to get favorable coverage on him, and the pass caught underneath by Elliott, and Elliott is off and running inside the 30, inside the 25, and Greg Blue will make the tackle, and 20 yards on the play.
Nice move by Tony Elliott. He actually thought he was going to get hit, pirouette, and all of a sudden hit some open area.
And now Georgia calls a timeout so that they can get their heads together defensively. The decoy on that play is when the speedster Curry in motion actually kind of took away.
Cleared it.
Watch right here.
Yeah, it cleared it open for him. That's the move right there. And Georgia using the timeout to get their right personnel in really helped Clemson a little bit because only 28 seconds and 1 timeout left. Willie Simmons has done well in this first half, Ron. 10 of 21, made the big mistake on the interception, long interception, first drive.
There probably 2 or 3 plays he would like to have back, but Mike,
he's been under duress.
He really has, and you mentioned he saw what we saw up here, threw across his body, and he had a man open, his tight end Ben Hall, but he just couldn't get that much oomph on the football, and as a result, DeCorey Bryant came up with the interception. And it killed a drive where I thought that Clemson would for sure come away with points.
Maryland a little bit struggle, not scoring any points. Down 6-0.
41 yards in his drive in less than a minute. That's impressive. From the 23 and a shotgun, good protection, gets it out in the flat. That's Yusuf Kelly, and he'll go for just short yardage. Thornton wrapped him up.
What Tommy Bowden wanted Yusuf Kelly to do is get out of bounds, save that timeout. Now you got to be able to get your always your field goal team real close to you on the sideline if you have to run them out there. With 21 seconds, you still got time for 2-3 plays.
So that's the last time out by Clemson. And 21 seconds showing on the clock until halftime. Georgia, if need be, but I don't know why it would happen unless they were to get an interception and a long return. They do have 2 timeouts still up on the board. You look at Aaron Hunt and his percentages. Well, that same score just announced here at the stadium, Mike, that you were talking about, Nebraska and Troy State, and got some oohs and ahs.
Yeah, the other thing about Nebraska, Jamal Lord, because he's a running quarterback in the option, but half the time he went back last week, he ran the ball in pass plays. He may not make it the whole year because he's going to take some hits all year. So you got to keep him healthy.
Chris Clemons has headed to the locker room early for the Georgia Bulldogs, walking off under his own power, but not walking very fast. We'll get a report. Time is back in. Second down to 21 seconds left until halftime. And the pass deep over the middle is well overthrown, and that'll stop the clock at 15 seconds. Derek Hamilton is the fella he wanted. And he was well covered, so he just threw it away.
And the offensive line for Clemson's got to do a real good job here. They cannot afford a sack here of Willie Simmons, because with the time, and you don't want to take distance away from your field goal kicker if that's what you end up having to do.
Third down, and they need to take it to the 13-yard line. Pressure right up the middle. Goes in the end zone. Touchdown, and that's Youngblood.
Well, that was a nice throw against Bruce Thornton. Kevin Youngblood. Again, Willie Simmons with people in his face. You're seeing the makings of a pretty good quarterback tonight for Clemson.
Kenny Veal was the man that was all over him, number 96. How about that drive? In less than a minute and a half. Tommy Bowden says we got the plays and the stuff to get it in the end zone, and they did. Hunt with the extra point attempt. Good pass, and he knocks it right down the middle as a flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
On PAT, our rule, wherever PAT is good.
Big time score by Willie Simmons. Let me tell you what's going to happen here. A curl route right here and a post right behind it. And they jump the curl, and then Bruce Thornton has to play the post against Kevin Youngblood. There's the post, and Willie Simmons with people in his face threw that ball perfectly. Here's Willie Simmons right behind him. Put enough air under that football. Kevin Youngblood uses a 6'5" frame, and touchdown for Clemson. And Clemson's got to feel good about the first half. All the mistakes that have been made by them, penalties, kickoff return, they're going to go to the locker room and derive great confidence from this first half.
Yeah, I agree with you. Totally agree with you. Terrence Edwards heading into a deep safety position along with Fred Gibson.
I would not kick this ball deep, and especially to 82. Seen enough basketball players tonight. I would kick it on the ground, swift kick it.
If you joined us late, he had a 91-yard punt return. Number 82, Fred Gibson did. That electrified this crowd, and there's the kick on the ground. Going to be picked up short at the 30-yard line, and down at the 46-yard line is Jared Berry with 3 seconds left until halftime.
David Green has not had an explosive first half. 7 of 12, 33 yards, got to touchdown, had an interception, so has not been a clear-cut big-time first half. DJ Shockley Again, the backup quarterback came in for 3 plays, scored a touchdown.
So David Green will take a knee, and we are at halftime. Adrian Karsten down on the sideline with Coach Bowden.
Tommy, congratulations. You scored a very important touchdown, but you're still dealing with penalties and bad special teams. What do you tell this team when you get inside?
We've got a lot of guys as a first time playing quarterback, center. We've had some bad penalties. We gave them a touchdown with 2 third-down stops with penalties. The worst enemy right now is us. If we can correct that, you know, play as poor as we have and be down by 7 in this environment, I'm happy with that, but disappointing penalties.
Coach, I appreciate it. We'll see you in the second half. Ron?
All righty, so our halftime score, Georgia 21-14. Now here's Reese Davis with the Saturn halftime report. Bulldogs lead at 21-14, but Mike, defensively, Clemson has really done some good things, and they may be fortunate to be in this ball game, but I don't think they have to be overly concerned. Do you?
No, Fred Gibson, no catches. Terrence Edwards, only 2. David Green, the quarterback for Georgia, has really taken a beating here in the first half from the Clemson defense. Clemson's getting after him and they're making sure they hit him, Ron, on every pass play. Gets a high snap right here. He takes some hits. Willie Simmons on the other side, I thought he had a very good first half. He had problems with the center quarterback exchange, and then you get the snap and it bounces back to you. So that's been the problems he's had to deal with in his football games. Played well.
What do you see in the stats right here, Mike? I know one of the things you're going to say.
Yeah, biggest thing is 33 passing yards for Georgia. That's the biggest thing. Turnovers are even.
And total yards less than 100 for Georgia in the half. High coverage kick coming down at the 18-yard line to Terrence Edwards. Gets by 1 at the 25, over the 30, now 35. And David Green and company will have excellent field position to open the second half. It's 18 on the return.
Quarterback Willie Simmons, of course, thrown a dozen more passes for 115 yards and a touchdown. I thought Willie Simmons played very well in the first half. David Green's got to be able to get a little more protection. Also has got to be able to get the ball right here to Gibson.
Well, we'll see if they make that part of their aim to get this third quarter going. He comes in motion straight ahead with Musa Smith. Going to be short gain, hit by 45 John Lake. John has been all over the field. As far as defensive stats, he had 2 tackles for a loss and a total of 3 in the first half. Meekins with 4 to lead the way for the Clemson Tigers.
You know, a lot of that is because guys like Nick Eason, defensive tackle, is absorbing 2 blockers, so Leak is free to run.
Clemson showing blitz off the corner. We'll see if they come or not. Audible is called by Green, and now they come off the other corner. Quick pass in the flat, got it there, and that's Reggie Brown. Reggie, not a real big guy, trying to make a second move, and spins backwards, tackled at the 45. Kevin Johnson. Adrian Karsten, what do you got for us opening this third quarter?
Ron, I have some bad news out of the Georgia locker room. Tony Gilbert, significant injury out of the game with ligament damage to his right ankle. Significant because he's the most dominating player in that defense, has led the team in tackles the last 2 years. David Green in the game now. The rotation is going to be similar to what we saw in the first half. This from Mark Richt.
All righty, thanks, Adrian. Boy, that is a blow as far as Gilbert being injured. Got Musa Smith, takes it over the 50-yard line, and the third down conversion is there on the completed pass. Good for 7 as Bodrick, the Rover, made the tackle.
Ron, I really expect David Green to settle down here in the second half, get a little bit better protection. He picks out Musa Smith in the flat, moves the chains, and good drive started by Georgia's offense.
Tony Milton comes in the ball game. Number 9, a redshirt freshman out of Tallahassee at tailback. Gives it to Milton, goes left side, slashes his way down to around the 45-yard line. Tackled by Khalid Vaughn out of Atlanta. And Vaughn is going to hit to the sideline as a couple of substitutions are made. Both of these defensive coaches have been very wise in their substitution. In the first half, both played 8 defensive linemen using full first and second team units, trying to give them a breather. We are fortunate that with the drizzle that we've had tonight, Mike, this is extremely mild. We've been here when it's really hot. Here comes the draw play, and it's Tony Milton, tackled by Leak. Not enough for the first down. In fact, he's going to be short by about 4 or 5 yards.
Well, we showed how that Clemson pressured David Green in the first half, so he's coming out and they're establishing the draw to slow down that pass rush.
Coming into the lineup, J.T. Wall at fullback and Musa Smith.
John Lovett, former defensive coordinator at Auburn, had success against Georgia last year, moved on to Clemson this year. Doing a pretty good job.
John Lovett came away with 2 rings as an Auburn defensive coordinator. Big opening, has 5, counted off at close to 10. Musa Smith, gaping hole off the left side behind the blocking of Kareem Marshall, Kevin Breedlove, and Ian Knight.
What Georgia's going to do with John Leak is they're going to run right at him now. They get a good block on him by Ian Knight to center, so they're deciding right to run right at the Clemson front.
Well, when you got that veteran offensive line, and there's a lot of beef up there, and more than adequate running backs like this fellow right here, Musa Smith, going to take it into the boundary. Kevin Johnson makes the tackle. There's no sense in getting impatient when you got that kind of combination.
No, and you talk about every play being 5 yards on first down. That gives you tremendous ability to call anything you want to call on second down.
Well, with the job that the Clemson kids have done in the secondary, this probably is the last thing that John Lovett wants to see happen. And that is just line up and come at him. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, all of a sudden now you've got to commit somebody else to stop the run.
8th play of the drive. Fumbled snap from center. And David Green will get back on it. You can see that Bryant McNeil, number 91, was right there and very close to the play.
David Green, it came down to Georgia and Georgia Tech. He told us, he said, they're both 45 minutes from my house, so couldn't go wrong.
3rd down. They need to take it to the 25-yard line. Number 8, Terrence Edwards, checks back into the lineup. He lines up to the top of your screen, out to the left. 3rd down conversions, 2 of 2 on this drive. Pitch to Smith, gets by him, scramble for it. Who got the recovery? It's still on the ground and picked up by McNeil. McNeil of Clemson is going to take it for a touchdown. Snap from center, and they have to go with the 3rd down and long situation, 5-6 yards, not that long, and then an errant pitch. Just 2 things that you don't look for either of those things to happen, and all of a sudden the other team's got 7 points, or 6 anyway.
Ron, both teams have hurt themselves tonight. It hasn't been the other team hurting them, it's them themselves. They just keep hurting themselves.
Tommy Bowden said at halftime, we are the enemy. Hunt with the extra point, and just like that, we are tied. Here's the pitch. Musa just took his eyes off the football. No excuse for that. They continue to battle for it. Goes on the ground, and meanwhile, Brian McNeil, 6'5", 236 pounds, takes it the distance. And Musa Smith, not happy with himself, dropped a pitch. But Mike, I think the play that was devastating was the fumble snap from center on the play before, which left them with the 3rd and long.
It was. This is respect for Gibson right here.
Gibson still picks it up, looks for a spot to go, drops the ball, and Clemson has recovered.
Georgia's playing like a team with no confidence.
Tony Taylor makes the recovery. Mike, I want to take you back about 365 days ago. Clemson gave a football game away to Georgia, or rather, Georgia gave away a football game to South Carolina.
Right.
An interception in the end zone, pass dropped by Edwards in the end zone, missed chip shot field goal. And tonight they're headed in that same direction with a ton of time to play, obviously.
This is where Georgia's defense really has to stiffen right here. You expect Boss Bailey, the senior linebacker, to give a little leadership down here now.
Willie Simmons with an audible. The first down at the 21 of Georgia. Draw play, Rambert. There's not much there, and we'll check with Reese Davis.
Ron, after that last play, I don't have to tell you how quickly a game can change with a play in the kicking game. Maryland and Notre Dame. Vontez Duff slipping a couple arm tackles, and he is gone. 75 yards. He'll take it to the house. And Ty Willingham's team up 16-0 in the third.
Simmons rolling to his right, gets the pass away, incomplete, in and out of the hands as Boss Bailey is there to make the breakup, and it was tight end Ben Hall is who they were looking for.
You talk about defense, you talk about sudden change. Willie Simmons rolling out, Boss Bailey man-to-man on Ben Hall. Stripped that ball away, but this is a big third down for this Georgia defense.
Third down, and they need to take it to the 11-yard line. Simmons, here comes the pressure, deep over the middle. The ball is tipped in, almost caught by Youngblood, incomplete, and it'll be fourth down. I believe Greg Blue got a fingertip on it to misdirect it.
I don't know if he did or not, but his hands may have caused Kevin Youngblood to miss this football.
Looked like his right hand, Mike, got just a little bit of it.
Distracted him enough to miss that football.
So Hunt with the field goal attempt of 37 yards, almost in the middle of the field. Trying to put Clemson on top. Gets a good pass, plenty of distance, and he hit the upright, and it comes back on the field. It hit the right upright.
You talk about a big series for a defense. Georgia's defense. Brian Van Gorder, the defensive coordinator, couldn't ask for more effort out of his defense on that 4 plays.
And Hunt just not lucky. The ball went back on the field of play rather than going through the uprights. So we have seen a kickoff return, 91 yards. After the first kickoff, offsides was called. A defensive lineman picks up an errant pitch, takes it for a touchdown, and now we hit an upright. Been a strange game, Mike. Green going to go on top. Has time, and the ball knocked away, and that's a nice job by Kevin Johnson. And I think Michael Johnson was not as open as Green thought he would be. He put air under it.
And Michael Johnson running a post route against Kevin Johnson. Ball is in the air too long.
Yep.
That ball was floated by David Green. Gave Johnson a chance to knock it away.
So 2nd and 10. Musa Smith tries to take it right up the middle. Very sticky going. A gain of 3. It's going to be a third down and long situation. And John Lovett, Mike, first game for him as the defensive coordinator for the Clemson Tigers. But John has got to be pleased with his new troops, and they in turn have to be pleased with him.
Yeah, when we talked to him the other day on the phone, we said, how's the mind of your football team? And he said, they're young. Last year against Georgia, Auburn won 24-17, but you see what Georgia had, 2 of 12 on third down conversions. They got another third down, big third down right here.
So let's see if they can make the 30-yard line. From the shotgun, Green sets up, good protection, drills this one, and Musa Smith caught it and fell down 2 yards shy. Thomas was in the vicinity, but he just fell down.
And John Lovett did what he does best. He held him again on third down, forces this punt.
And for the folks that are down here from Clemson wearing orange, a standing ovation for that defense. fourth time that Kilgore will have to kick it away for the Georgia Bulldogs tonight.
I thought John Lovett did a good job at Auburn.
I did too.
They upset Florida last year and played good defense against Georgia at the end of the year.
Kilgore's kick, driving spiral. Hamilton retreats to the 23 and is tackled immediately. What great coverage. That's Mentor, 46 yards in the kick and -1 on the return. Let's take a break.
Beer, official sponsor of Guys Night Out.
Significant injuries continue to pile up for the Georgia Bulldog defense. Thomas Davis, Sean Jones, both free safeties now with cramping. Same for David Pollock, the buck end. Tony Gilbert out of the game. Chris Clemons slowed with shin injury. 7 impact players on defense, all affected by these injuries.
Boy, that's huge. They go right up the middles with the handoff, and they take it for about 3 yards in the play. Rambert back in the lineup. As we mentioned, he had been slowed earlier in training camp with a high ankle sprain and irritated it again this past week, but he has done yeoman's work tonight along with Yusuf Kelly. 2nd down and 6. Ball is fumbled and Simmons is going to fall down, and it may have been the best thing that could have happened because he might have taken a shot and had the ball knocked loose again, being off balance.
They're going to spend a lot of time next week on the snap. Although this is right in his hands. He just dropped it. Again, taking his eye off the football. He saw his head go right to the right and missed the football.
3rd down. They need to take it out to their own 34-yard line.
Offside on Georgia, so they got a free play.
May not. Well, yes, they are going to need it. That's Curry who made the catch, and I thought he was going to break it out to get the 1st down.
Yeah, Will Thompson was offside, Ron, so they'll get another shot at this 3rd down.
And there's the call right there, Mike. You're exactly right, as we are just under 6 minutes to play, 3rd quarter, tied at 21.
Talked about the pace of the first half. Pace of the second half has been fast.
It has been. That's her first flag in the second half.
It has been very well officiated here in the 3rd quarter.
So Clemson back quickly to the line of scrimmage. You heard the head coach at halftime say, let's pick up the pace offensively and defensively. Let's pick up the pace. 3rd down and 10. Drills this pass, has it complete, and they've got the 1st down and add about another 10 on. McKelvey gets that rifle shot, and it's good for 21 yards.
I don't know if I've seen as good a group of receivers for a while on one college football team. And they're all like cookie cutters. They're 6'4", 6'5". That's J.J. McKelvey. He's 6'4", 210. Pretty good looking group.
Pressure coming from the middle. Sullivan couldn't get him though, and the pass is thrown high. And boy, that's dangerous. Right over the middle. McKelvey couldn't get up, and you see his quarterback, Willie Simmons, saying, take off down the field. That's where I wanted you.
That was Willie Simmons' fault, though, because he's got him open right here, sitting in the middle, but he just throws it too high.
Five and a half minutes left, 3rd quarter. Willie rolls right over the middle, has it complete to Rambert, the running back. And now it's going to bring up still another important 3rd down and about 5 yards for the Tigers.
Again, Ron, with the deep drop of the linebackers of Georgia, they're just trying to get underneath them with running backs and option routes. Rambert that time in front of the linebacker.
Well, Clemson has made 4 of their last 5 3rd down attempts. Kelly comes in at tailback, replacing Rambert. Lots of time over the middle, and a flag comes in. Pass interference is going to be called, and that was thrown from way downfield. Robinson, the intended receiver. Bruce Thornton, the cover.
May have been called on Curry, holding.
It is going to be holding, and that's a first down, Clemson.
I believe the call was on number 4, Kentrell Curry. See if we can pick it up here. Nope.
So first down, the new line of scrimmage, the 39 of Georgia. Gives it to Kelly. Counterplay, has a blocker in front, has 5, has 10, breaks it open, still on his feet, and it's going to be a gain of 12, and then down to the 20-yard line. Golston finally made the stop, and it winds up as a gain of 19 yards as he squirted out of the pile and got 7 more.
Ron, what happens is Geathers and the defensive ends have to work upfield so much trying to get to the quarterback that they'll hit that draw underneath them. Yusuf Kelly with a hard running style.
Kind of hard to grab. They say 6 feet, but he doesn't look quite that tall, but he runs extremely low and weighs 225, so strengthen those legs, and he proved it right there. Tied at 21, and Clemson trying to break that. Pass in the flat, got that one complete to Robinson, and he'll take it to the 12-yard line. Reese Davis.
Ron, you guys are seeing a passing display, and Byron Leftwich put one on against Appalachian State. It's Butchie Wallace on the screen. He'll go 53 yards. Leftwich had a huge night as Marshall's starting to pull away from App State. 43-17. They're deep in the fourth. Look at Leftwich, 469 yards, 4 touchdowns, and another one rushing.
Second down and short as Clemson comes to the line of scrimmage, and Jasmine, who is the regular fullback, lines up in the backfield with Willie Simmons. And they give it to Jasmine. Comes to the near side at the 10, at the 5, and he'll take it down to the 1. Greg Blue saved to touchdown. It's a gain of 11 yards. First and goal, Clemson Tigers.
Another nice block by number 71, Derek Brantley. Again, you get those ends working up the field. Brantley making the block right there that springs him into the secondary. Clemson knocking on the door.
Kelly and Jasmine both this time at a tandem in the backfield. First and goal, they fumble the snap from center, and they give it to Jasmine, and there's nothing doing there. They are really fortunate they didn't lose that football.
Willie Simmons tonight has played against the defense, and he's worried about the snap because even when he goes under center, sometimes the snap doesn't come up to him. But he has not lost his poise. He hangs in there and has had a very, very good night.
6 fumbles for Clemson tonight, if you can believe it, and not one has been lost. Pitch back goes to Kelly, hit behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, what a great effort to get in that end zone.
And the Clemson Tigers,
he kept his feet moving
on a great second effort. Ken Beal and Harrison, he just split them and took it into the end zone.
This is a Clemson team that has grown up tonight.
Boy, have they ever. Yusuf Kelly getting the congratulations on the sideline as Hunt knocks home the extra point. And a flag is down. By rule, kick is good, so let's take a timeout. 2:25 left left in the third quarter. And here's how the Tigers got it into the end zone as Kelly just kept on driving, and Yusuf good for the score. Clemson surprisingly on top with all their problems. They lead it by 7. Clemson, 15 of 30, 150 yards, a touchdown and an interception. David Green only 50 yards tonight, and 14 Clemson points off 2 Georgia turnovers. So it's been a strange one, partner, but you got to give these guys an orange, and this fellow right here, Yusuf Kelly, you got to give them just a world of credit. I mean, they could have folded their tent back in the first half, Mike, after the 91-yard kick return.
Not a doubt. I wouldn't kick it again to Fred Gibson.
Well, it's short. It's a cover kick, and it's going to come down to him at the 21. Check it. It's Terrence Edwards, and he is hit immediately and knocked out after only a 1-yard return. Monday on ESPN at 4:30. There's more college football over Labor Day weekend. It's Conference USA. Wide receiver Adrian Mediz. The TCU Horned Frogs take on quarterback Gino Gaduli and the Cincinnati Bearcats. For more on upcoming games, log on to ESPN.com. And the keyword is schedule.
They're working on your pronunciation there.
They're working on everything tonight, Mike.
Now David Green's got to answer that score.
Tony Milton checks back in at tailback. Bulldogs trailing 28-21. Green steps up, drills the pass, has it complete at the 32-yard line, and there's Fred Gibson on the receiving end of a strike. And that time, the big lefty had time, stepped up into the pocket, and delivered it.
Really did. Jim Herrick's, the basketball coach at Georgia's, up in the booth with us, and he's so high on Fred Gibson. David Green sits in the pocket. He got good protection. Gibson ran a deep curl route and came back to the football.
Well, as we had mentioned at halftime, no receptions. That is his first. Sets in the pocket again. Safety valve out to Milton, and he let him a little too much. So it's going to be third down. And David Green looks a little unsettled tonight.
I agree. He does not look like he played last year. He is not as poised on the football field. Now Clemson has a lot to do with that.
Yeah. Musa Smith checks back on the line up at tailback, and they need to take this thing to the 31, or they're going to have to kick it back to the Tigers. Quick pass out in the flat. I think that ball was tipped, but they get it complete. Hit behind the line of scrimmage, and Fred Gibson is tackled by Kelvin Morris. A flag is down.
That's going to be holding on Georgia, I believe. But Kelvin Robinson fought through a holding penalty. That's exactly what it is. Fought through a holding penalty and made this play on Fred Gibson. Now you talk about a big-time football play. That was a big-time football play by Kelvin Morris.
Well, he's cramping up now. Speaking to Fred Gibson as he comes to the sideline, he's walking like he's got sticks for legs. He was grabbing the back of his hamstring. There he goes again on that left leg. Hamilton, the deep man, and the 5th time that Jonathan Kilgo has had to punt tonight. A minute 23 seconds left, third quarter. Pressure up the middle. End over end kick, and is received at the 42, and it's great coverage. It's downfield on a 36-yard kick and 2 on the return. And the 2002 NFL season kicks off right here on Thursday, September the 5th at 8:30 Eastern. It's the San Francisco 49ers and the New York Giants. Coverage begins with a special edition of NFL Countdown at 6:30 Eastern. And for more on upcoming games, log on to ESPN.com, and the keyword is schedule. Uga heading for the house. Can't do that yet, buddy. Can't be real happy with the way things have gone for his mates tonight on the field. Yusuf Kelly comes back into the lineup at tailback.
Yusuf Kelly, they got a good 1-2 punch with Rambert and Kelly.
And they're both built a lot alike, around 6 feet, 225 on Kelly, 210 on Rambert. And they hand it on a reverse to Derek Hamilton. Hamilton will have maybe 3. Greg Blue defensively. Mike, a little bit of the bounce in the step of the defense seems to have gone, and the crowd is kind of sitting on their hands right now.
I think a lot of the thoughts that Adrian had when he talked about 6 or 7 of the defensive players hurt right now. Champ Bailey watching his brother Boss.
Speaking of impact players.
Yeah, bring him out of the stands.
I don't think the opposition would like that. Here comes a blitz off the corner. And the handoff, Kelly bounces it outside. That's a nice job. And that's where that team speed comes into play as Kentrell Curry came out of the left linebacking position as you look at Bailey.
Takes on the block and runs to the football. That's all you can ask of a linebacker.
Curry and Bailey both are there, and that's the end of the third quarter, so we'll take a timeout. And as we head to the final 15, Clemson 28 and Georgia 21. Welcome back. Between the Hedges, Athens, Georgia, packed house tonight. Season opener. And you see those are the results right now. Georgia shows blitz. Here they come. Heavy pressure. Wow, Bailey's going to sack him way back at the 27-yard line. Third time that they have gotten to Willie Simmons tonight. Mike, that really flips the field now as far as Georgia receiving this kick.
Missed block. Champ Bailey likes his younger brother making that big play.
The Boss really came through with a big one there, and here's the kick. Driving spiral. Gary at the 29-yard line. Gets by the first. Tries to bounce it outside, and he does. Cuts back against the grain and may have tripped up over his own man. Reggie Brown was trying to help him out. I'm not so sure that their feet didn't get tangled. 43 on the kick and 40 on the return.
Special teams has given life to this Georgia football team. Damian Gary, very good receiver also after he makes the catch. Shockley into the ball game.
From the 31. Shockley had his foot stepped on by one of the linemen and went down. And you see it happen. It's with the backtracking for pass blocking. You got to get out of there quickly.
Yeah, you can bet John Lovett had a session with his defensive line and linebackers at a halftime. When DJ Shockley comes into the football game, somebody's going to spy him a little bit because he took off so easily against them in the first half. Now, he also is a pretty good passer.
This time from a shotgun. Clemson shows blitz. They come off the corner. Steps up, drills this pass, and has it complete. And that's Freddie Gibson. Wow, he threw that thing on a line as Mance came over to make the tackle, but it is a gain of 12 on the play.
Yeah, DJ Shockley shows you he's got a pretty good arm too. Not bad on the feet, but pretty good arm too. Fred Gibson running the down and out against Brian Mance, a pretty good defensive corner. This may be 2 down territory for the Dogs.
David Green watches in the sideline as redshirt freshman DJ Shockley comes into the ball game. Third down, gets it over the middle, has it complete at the 10, at the 5. Terrence Edwards, he will score. Like lightning. following the long kick return, and on both drives that Shockley ran his team in for a touchdown, he was benefited by long returns by Georgia's special teams.
And that's Terrence Edwards with a new school record in touchdown passes, 19. DJ Shockley with a nice throw as Terrence Edwards got inside the corner. Brian Mance.
And Mike, look at the reaction from the redshirt freshman. I got me one. We'll be right back. 28, and Mike, I have to admit, aesthetically, it has not been beautiful, but you got to give two teams a lot of credit for heart. It has been an unorthodox football game, but both teams, when it seemed as though old Mo had jumped to the other side, the other guys that were down step up and say, nope, we're not giving it up that easy.
No,
and because it's made it a fun football game.
Yeah, I agree. There's no quit in either one of these football teams, and they've had good quarterback play. Willie Simmons has done his part. DJ Shockley's come off the bench with 2 touchdowns.
Kerouac with the kickoff. This one from the 5-yard line is Hamilton at the 20 and almost to the back to the 30-yard line. Reese Davis, what do you have?
Ron, it is a most successful debut for Tyrone Willingham at Notre Dame against Maryland, up 19-0. Carlisle Holiday, when Notre Dame found a little passing offense. Holiday dropping a beautiful one on Omar Jenkins, set up Nicholas Setta's 5th field goal of the night. Is 22-0 in the 4th.
Wow, shutout of Maryland. Heard somebody on a show a couple of days ago said that the cupboard was almost bare at Notre Dame, but I look at Holiday.
No,
Jones didn't
bare.
make his great. That's a long way from the truth.
No, there's a lot of talent there. Bob Davie left a pretty good football team there.
Yeah, he did. First down from the 29. Stepping up under pressure, gonna be sacked. Grabbed by the ankles by Will Thompson. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, Adrian Karsten coming to you from a jam-packed and very excited Sanford Stadium on the campus of the University of Georgia. Points off turnover tonight. Clemson 14, Georgia 7, and Edwards his 20th career touchdown reception. Now this crowd is really into it. Georgia shows blitz, and here they come. Heavy pressure, gets the pass away, and he was just throwing it, trying to run for his life as Arnold Harrison, who's replacing the injured Tony Gilbert, was the man that was coming after him.
Arnold Harrison, the middle linebacker, number 46, just comes free. And that again, 4 or 5 new starters in the offensive line. They did not pick up the defense.
Listen to this crowd. Jermaine Chester comes back in at center, replacing Tommy Sharp. Now a timeout and a discussion by the officials. Reset to 25-second clock. Okay, you reset. Let's go now. Let's don't start what we had in the first half. We've had a great second half. Let's don't stand around and talk. Let's play football. Talk after the game. Up the far sideline. Incomplete. Kevin Youngblood going high in the air. DeCorey Bryant. DeCorey's going to sleep well tonight, and he's also maybe going to have some nightmares over all these bombs coming in his direction.
Yeah, he just doesn't want Curry to go by him again. Here's Youngblood running by him, but he forces him out of bounds, Ron.
Smart play.
And he wouldn't have made that catch anyway.
7th punt of the night. Here's the kick from the left footer. This is a good coverage kick, very high, and that's going to be the halo violation. And now let's get into what we were going to talk about last week.
First one.
No longer is it a 5-yard penalty, it's a 10. And Mike, because the halo is 2 yards around, it is literally a 12-yard penalty. The national average on kick returns is 9.84 yards. So you're getting better than what the national average is if you violate. And since he made collision with him, it could be a 17-yard penalty.
Right. And this is the first one we've seen this year.
Yeah.
And I really expected to see more punt returns this year because of the halo rule. People breaking down a little bit further away from the punt returner.
From Coach Bowden's reaction, I would think that they called it the 15-yard version.
I'd say that's a...
So let's take a break. 11-16 left in our ball game. We're tied. To show you, as far as the penalty is concerned, they penalized him only to the 44, which means it was only a 10-yard penalty. They didn't penalize for the halo as well. Tommy thought it was a 15-yarder. That's what he was protesting. And if they meant for it to be, they didn't make it that. Right over the middle, got him open, Reggie Brown. And Brown spins around at the 40-yard line and will have the first down +5.
You talk about a hot hand now. DJ Shockley, redshirt freshman's got a hot hand. Now he is about as cool as I've seen a quarterback for a while. David Green only can watch right now. You don't know whether he played with a lot of pressure on his back tonight or what the reason that he did not have a great night. But DJ Shockley right now is hot.
Musa Smith, they give it to him. Big opening. Breaks it on the left side. Inside the 35 and down to the 33-yard line. Bodrick, the Rover, out of Cameron, South Carolina, makes the tackle.
They're fortunate, Ron, they have DJ Shockley, because I think the infusion that he has brought to this offensive team, he's excited everybody here. The crowd, the football team, everybody looks like they're playing a little bit harder right now on the field.
Second down and short. Shotgun from the shotgun, steps up into the pocket, and here's where he is so dangerous. He'll have the first down. Just takes almost nothing and made something out of it in a gain of about 3 yards. They'll move the sticks.
What Clemson has to do to DJ Shockley is showing something, get him a little confused. Right now, he's dictating to the Clemson defense. They've got to be able to get to him, sack him, cause a turnover. Now, here's a guy that's a redshirt freshman quarterback, and he's operating like a 22-year-old veteran out here at quarterback position. You got to change up a little bit on him now. 51
yards passing, 12 yards rushing, and a touchdown tonight for him. Play clock is at 4, down to 3, going to have to hurry. Down to 1, gets it off. Musa Smith, right side for very short yardage. Khalid Vaughn gets off the bottom of the pile.
When Mark Richt looks at this tape tomorrow, he's going to be happy with the way Musa Smith has played, and the running game has been very efficient tonight.
It has been, and Mike is long. It doesn't matter if you don't get those huge gainers. You hate to play second and long, but you continue to move the sticks. You're also moving the clock. Musa Smith, 18 carries, 84 yards. Pass over the middle, incomplete. Little too far in front of the intended receiver, Damian Gary. Meekins was the man who was there with the cover. Senior out of Easley, South Carolina.
Yeah, Damian Gary's open. DJ Shockley, that's one mistake maybe he's made tonight. He hasn't made many. I'd give that a half a mistake anyway.
He had some heat on that one. Yep. They're going to have to pick up some plus yardage, or Mike, they're going to be in a situation where they have to punt the football rather than go for the distance field goal.
Quarterback draw right here, possibly.
Third down, retreats. Now is going to take it to the outside, and a nice job by Clemson to contain, and they push him out of bounds, and it's going to be a loss on the play of about 5 yards, and that is going to take him out of field goal range because the distance Billy Bennett has kicked, his longest is 55 yards.
They're considering sending Bennett in there. They're going to take a timeout and try to figure out what's best.
Well, Leak is the man who was applying pressure again.
Sideline to sideline player.
Timeout called by Georgia.
The University of Georgia Athletic Association would like to thank St. Mary's.
Well, while we got the timeout, a reminder coming up next on ESPN. Rich Eisen and Stuart Scott. New era at Notre Dame while the football finishes and Bonds versus Schilling. That and more. Sports Center immediately following our ball game.
It's an interesting decision for Mark Richt. Now you got things going your way, but I don't know that I wouldn't punt them inside the 10-yard line and make them work a little bit and maybe get a mistake off of them.
Well, when you look at the one major problem other than penalties that Clemson has had tonight, it has been the negotiation of either the snap direct under or the shotgun. And if you pin them inside the 10-yard line, I'm sure that Tommy Bowden, it's the last thing in the world he'd like to see happen here.
Yeah, Mark Richt looking at all the options right now. I believe I'd punt him in the hole.
Well, if they try this, it's going to be a 60-yard attempt. Or 50-yard attempt, I beg your pardon. Wait a minute, help me out here, Elvin. The kick would come around, it'd be a 50-yard attempt, yeah. And we mentioned that this is not out of field goal range for Bennett. 55 against Arkansas last year. And Adrian, let's check on the sideline with you. What are you hearing?
Mark Richt told us yesterday, I know what Shockley can do, I just haven't seen him do it in a game yet. Well, in the locker room at halftime, he said, DJ, you're back in rotation. You're just going to have to show me what you can do. Apparently, it's all the motivation it took because even here on the bench, he's got all the support of his offensive lineman, the entire team.
Well, he surely has helped bring them back, and you see the decision. Jonathan Kilgo comes out, and they are lined up to punt the football. And he aims it for the near sideline. Let's see if he gets it. Yep, it goes out of bounds, and it would appear as though it's going to be inside the 10-yard line as the official stops at the 7.5. So let's take a break. 8:25 remaining. We're still tied at 28. During the timeout, that decision of punting the football and making Clemson scrimmage deep in their own territory.
Yeah, they got a long way to go. If they're good enough to go 92 yards against you, they're good enough to beat you. So you put the responsibility on your defense now.
You give it to the fullback, and Jasmine with very short yardage, maybe the 10-yard line. David Pollock making the stop.
And Brian Van Gorder, the defensive coordinator of Georgia, is telling his team, hey, 3 and out, and then we'll get good field position, milk this clock, and victory's ours. So that's what they're believing on defense. Tommy Bowden saying we need a couple quick first downs here.
Georgia showing blitz from the secondary, but they stay at home. His arm is hit, and that one is, oh my goodness, not intercepted because Pollock, instead of running under the ball, tried to jump up and catch it back over his head.
And Chris Clemens, Pollock with the pressure on Simmons, hits his arm, and then
it was Clemens.
Clemens had a shot at it.
Instead of running back under it, he mistimed his jump. 3rd down. They roll the pocket, trying to buy some more time for Simmons. Gets his pass incomplete, well overthrown as Ken Veal was all over him. Derek Hamilton was the closest guy to him.
Now, Ron, you should have the ball inside the 50-yard line. And that's good strategy by Mark Richt, and Brian Van Gorder applauds his defense. That's exactly what they wanted in that series.
Allowed them to pick up only 2 yards.
And the punting game has been shaky for Clemson.
Win Cobb, who formerly kicked with the Georgia Bulldogs, the left footer, waits 5 yards deep in his end zone, and here's his boot. Hanging spiral all the way back to the 43-yard line as Gary comes to the sideline, tackled at the 45, and Georgia with 7 minutes and 23 seconds left in excellent field position. It was 47 on the kick and 12 on the return, and David Green comes back into the ball game.
And David Green is the quarterback. Mark Richt made it perfectly clear he's the starter going into this game tonight. DJ Shockley, 3 out of 4, 50 yards, 1 touchdown. You see David Green's evening, 58 yards, but this is what he did best last year.
They'll go from the shotgun with the ball at the 45 of Clemson. Drills this one over the middle, has it complete, and the big tall Fred Gibson on the receiving end. When he retreated to try to pick up another yard, he lost one, so they will not have the first.
And Ron, exactly what Mark Richt wanted is both quarterbacks, different styles, and Clemson's had to defend the drop back passing game. They've had to defend DJ Shockley running on scrambles, so he's got exactly what he wants.
Smith and JT Wall in an I formation. They give it to Smith. Tries to take it off the left side for the first down, and he will, as he will take it down to the 32-yard line. Bodrick making the tackle, and now we're about to go under 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the ball game. Georgia does not want to get in a hurry here.
No, they want to burn this clock. They want a nice drive, burn the clock, don't leave much left, and score a touchdown.
And for David Green, he'd like to go to the house leading his team to victory. This pass in the flat, and that's, well, no pass interference. A pretty good collision against Fred Gibson, but I think it's because Mance, even though he collided with him, that ball was not catchable.
High. Here's the high throw to Fred Gibson. Little bump. Fred Gibson says, hey, that had been a foul in basketball.
It stops the clock with 6 minutes and 10 seconds left. Tied at 28. And Georgia on the 32 of Clemson, out in the flat, and incomplete as Reggie Brown just took his eye off the football. There was double coverage out there, and maybe that's what he was looking at. John Leake was one of the guys.
We've had a lot of big plays tonight, but this third down right here, the pressure is on David Green here. It just went right through the hands of Reggie Brown. Terrence Edwards, who's been a favorite target of David Green on this short side of the field.
Well, they fake the run, pressure from the backside, and they do go for the run. I beg your pardon. Nice fake by Green as he did a good job as though he was holding on to the football. And they'll take it down to Thomas making the tackle as Musa Smith takes the ball down to the 26-yard line.
Now they're going to try the field goal. Safe call on third down, Ron, to get it a little bit of yardage to set this field goal attempt up.
So this attempt, 33.5 yards. The ball will be placed down, so it's a 43-yard attempt. Plenty of distance, and he's good. Didn't leave a whole lot of room, did he? Georgia goes on top. We'll take a timeout. 5:19 remaining. Dogs by 3. Georgia Bulldogs going on top, and now it sits at the feet of Willie Simmons. By the way, Mike, here's an interesting note on Bennett. 9 of 11 in his career in field goal attempts of 40 to 49 yards. That's good pressure kicking right there. Sports Center coming up next, immediately following our ball game.
Got a Beatles haircut too.
Kerouac will have it ready at the 35-yard line as you look at Hamilton and also number 82 Jackie Robinson. And both of these guys are capable of taking it to the house in a hurry.
I don't think they'll get a chance. I think they'll pooch it and hope that Clemson fair catches it.
Clemson has all 3 timeouts left. Here's the kick, and he does pooch it to the near side of the field. This is going to come down at the 11 to Hamilton. 25, gets by a man at the 30, 35, and nice kick return. They'll have great field position as Greg Blue finally made the tackle, but 27 on the return.
In a good field position to start this drive. Give it to us. Give it to Clemson on the 37-yard line. They'll take that anytime. Georgia's defense has played so well in the last couple of series against this Clemson offense.
And with so many of their regulars either dinged or on the sideline. Tony Gilbert out for the night. He could be gone for the season. Ligaments in his ankle. They'll get a report either tomorrow or Monday. From the shotgun, here comes the blitz, and it is caught at the line of scrimmage by McKelvey, and then they ganged upon him after a quick 2-yard gain. Boss Bailey, who's been everywhere, particularly in the second half.
And Thomas Davis, to the safety, made a good play coming downhill. Boss Bailey taking on the block and then running to the football. You like that kind of attitude, Ron.
Wow.
He's playing 100 miles an hour out there.
Joseph Kelly comes into the lineup. He is working at tailback. On second down, the give is to the motion man, Derek Hamilton, and they try to use his great speed, and he's close to the first down. Out close to midfield, and we're about to go under 4 minutes left in the ball game. Jonathan Sullivan is the man who made the tackle.
And Derek Hamilton, ankle sprain on him too, but he's playing through it in tonight's game, and they got some weapons.
Clemson back to the line of scrimmage in their shotgun, a little quicker this time. Play clock is at 5. Got it off with 2 seconds left, and they go with the running play in the big opening as Chad Jasmine takes it all the way down to the 39-yard line of Georgia. So here we go again. An 11-yard gain. Georgia with a 3-point lead, and we have 3:44 left in the ball game.
Michael O'Kane, Tommy Bowden, Brad Scott, all talking about the play call. Hit Georgia up inside. Again, Georgia trying to get in the pass lanes, get trapped up inside.
Willie Simmons back in the pocket, got a man over the middle, has it complete. It's going to be another first down. Kevin Youngblood, and let's see where they make the tackle at the 26-yard line. And now a very cautious hush comes over this capacity crowd of 86,000 at Sanford Stadium after that gain of 13 yards as the Tigers are just marching it right down the field.
Number 21, Derek Hamilton in the wing. He's carried the ball out of that wing position.
Did just one play ago, in fact, before that pass. Simmons hands it to Jasmine. Hit behind the line of scrimmage. And a loss of about 3 yards in the play. Arnold Harrison from that middle linebacking spot, who is replacing Tony Gilbert on the tackle.
Yeah, Arnold Harrison, number 46, I believe he's right here. Both the linebackers are going to come through here. No, Harrison's the left linebacker, the right linebacker. Also, Clemens in pretty good shape. to make that play. Harrison has played well in the second half in replacing Tony Gilbert.
So it is second down. Blitz coming from the secondary. They roll the pocket. The hit is made, and it is tipped and almost intercepted, and unable to hold on is Demario Minter, the freshman out of Stone Mountain, Georgia. And that was dangerous. Willie just put that one up there.
Yeah, again, Willie Simmons not able to set his feet. Here comes the blitz of the backer and the pressure on the backside. Willie Simmons never gets a real chance to set his feet. He threw the ball up there for grabs. What they need to do, Ron, right here is just get a hook pass.
Well, Clemson 7 of 16 in third down conversions tonight. They've missed their last 3. They need to take the football to the 17-yard line. Quarterback draw, and Simmons going to be hit and spun down by Thomas Davis.
Boy, he has been active in that secondary. Thomas Davis has made big play after big play. Number 10, Thomas Davis, reads the draw, quarterback draw. And if he's not there, now that's a good play call by Tommy Bowden.
So now timeout being called by the Clemson Tigers. Clock is stopped with 1 minute and 51 seconds. So while they're making their decision, we'll take a break. Georgia 31-28. 51 left in the ball game. They're going to try a field goal attempt, and this is an attempt of 46 yards. Hunt from 40 to 49 is 5 of 6 in his career. His longest is 48. Aaron Hunt squarely in the middle of the field. High pass. Kick is long enough and no good. It is short. Actually, it is short. It came up about 2 yards short, and the Georgia Bulldogs have a minute and 43 seconds to get off the clock. Wow, I said 2 yards. It may not have been 2 yards short. Mark Richt keeping his cool. Clemson still has 2 timeouts left. As you look at the anguish on Tommy Bowden's face. And Musa Smith will take it forward to around the 33-yard line, tackled by Mance.
You know, Ron, you look at both these teams. Both these teams are going to grow a little bit tonight because Georgia's expecting a great year. Clemson coming off a bowl game last year, which I think helped them. Humanitarian bowl game. They got extra practice. They went out there and won the game. So I think that bowl game really helped them a lot in the season opener.
About to go under 1 minute to play. 106 now, 105. Mike, when do they start using those timeouts?
Right
Moses
here.
Smith, big up the middle, not going to have enough for the first down. He's close. It'll be a third down at about 2. And now Clemson has called one of their 2 timeouts remaining. Eason down at the bottom of the stack making the tackle.
You talked about this field goal. He hit it, just didn't get enough distance.
Well, you have to wonder
High
one other
snap.
thing. What I started to say, the high snap, Mike, was his timing thrown off just enough to cut down his distance on the thing, because he had to hesitate for just a fraction. Well, as Holder thought it was good, and we did too, but it was not quite long enough. And you could see on the replays that we have shown about a yard, maybe 2 yards. Jeff Scott is the man who was holding. You could see him signaling. He thought it was going to send us to close to overtime.
Ron, a lot of teams like to fake a toss sweep and let your quarterback take a naked play here.
2 tight ends. And they give it to the fullback. Boy, he gets piled down after a gain of about 1. He didn't make the first down.
No, they got to use their last timeout.
Eric Sampson on the tackle. Gang tackled at the line of scrimmage, and now
they wasted about 5 seconds there.
Well, you know what, the officials have called a timeout to bring in the change. And as they stretch it out, you could see how close it is. Maybe a foot.
They got to go after this kick, Ron, if they are indeed going to punt this football. Here's where you call a no play and try to draw somebody off sides, or you punt the football, and Clemson comes after it.
So there has been a charged timeout, and we'll take it with them. We'll be right back. 31-28, the Georgia Bulldogs, and that was the last timeout used by the Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, and Georgia just used another timeout here to talk about strategy of what they want to do here.
And another reminder that SportsCenter coming up next as soon as this was over. We have 40 seconds remaining. 31-28. Mike, you got to punt the football, right?
Yeah, I believe you have to, but I think they may try to draw him offside.
I'm going to ask you about one play before we do get some final thoughts on this football Saturday. You mentioned in watching practice on Thursday that Georgia, when they line up to punt, they do a ready set that can draw somebody offside.
Yeah, they can draw somebody offside. You can do a no play right here. You know, it's about 6 inches for that first down, but if you go for that and don't make it, you're going to give Clemson pretty good field position with about 30 seconds to go. So I think they're going to try to draw him offside. And David Green is a big quarterback at 6'3", 237 if they decide to quarterback sneak it.
And there goes Musa Smith over the top, and it's first down Georgia.
Gutty call. Worked out well for Mark Richt. He doesn't have to punt the football.
First down.
And look at David Green. He comes out shaking a fist in the air, and he and Stinchcomb there with a big hug for each other as the clock runs.
When they brought that offensive team over, Mark Richt and Coach Callaway chose to challenge them to run that football and pick up that first down.
Ian Knight with a nice job of blocking on that play as well. 14 seconds down to 13. And David Green will fall on a knee. And the Georgia Bulldogs will win a very close one between the hedges here tonight over the Clemson Tigers. The clock still shows 5 seconds. Both teams, as you can see, out on the field. And the officials have headed to the locker room. Tommy Bowden is asking the same thing. We still have 5 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, forget those 5 seconds. This game's over.
So Mark Richt, with a very gutsy call on 4th down, gets the first. So the final score, Georgia 31 and Clemson 28. Coming up next, SportsCenter. For extended post-game coverage here in Athens, turn up to ESPN News for interviews, commentary, and analysis on Georgia's victory tonight. For summaries and stats in this game, log on to ESPN.com, your home for college football on the internet. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So it was a game that was erratic. Interesting. Georgia wins it 31-28. Now, here is SportsCenter.